Hello everybody and welcome back for day 2. I'm Gex and I'm bringing back Creedy with me for the finals today, our last matches, our semi-finals and our grand final to be played out in front of us. Creedy, we had an awesome day yesterday. How are you feeling for this one?
Oh, good. We have some good matches upcoming as well. We had some close matches, some one-sided matches. We had a bit of everything, apart from breaking. That seems to elude us still, but you never know. Maybe Restless, who we didn't actually get to see yesterday, maybe bring it out. Who knows? But happy to be here, and we're gonna get some good matches and a prospect to have some that grand final is gonna be absolutely amazing. I think even the semi-finals so as well.
Yeah, I think this first match in particular is really going to be going off until we get to that grand final as well. So pretty keen for it. Everybody was pretty keen to show us all of the maps for our second stage here of the World Tour here in APAC. And like you said, we are only missing breaking, so hoping the teams can deliver that for us today so we get the full pack. But let's take a look at our matches today. There's the graphic up on screen. Restless versus Majiki is going to be our first one up, so get hyped for that one. That's going to be absolutely awesome. Trident Esports, though, have stepped up for our second match today. They might have a bit of an advantage there. I think Ferox have got a challenge on their hands.
There is so much on the line. Of course, if Ferox Industries in EU is absolutely GigaChad, and so is on the APAC, but when they have to go up against Trident, and comparatively, it's going to be a very tough battle for them. But we've seen all kinds of things happen. The regionals have produced some of the most interesting results sometimes, and with the current APAC at the moment, the OCE stepping up as well with a lot of players. The level has definitely gone up, as we discussed before we went live as well. Dynasty, who has been second in every single regional, went out yesterday already. So it already shows that the level has gone up, and people are here to take those points, and especially with the global point standing being very close as well. I mean, all the points to play for, as it does determine the World Championship spots as well. And of course, for those who want to, All-Star is also the #1 spot in APAC as well is available.
And looking, of course, at going forward to that more world stage, that global stage, that depth within the region is so important for it to be developing like this as well, because you want to show your relevancy to regions like NA, EU. It's going to be a tough challenge to get once you get to that point, of course, no matter what. But yeah, definitely seeing a big step up from the region, and a big step up in the form of consistency, I think, as well, which we were missing massively from the first event. Coming through now into stage 2, seeing that consistency come out of the bat in first regional out of a few players, that's really important to me.
Oh, it sets you up for a very comfortable season as well. But we've seen as well, like, the people who start off really consistent at first, it also is important to keep up the pace as well, because eventually people are going to catch up to you. Yes, you will be consistent, but you have to also be consistent to be consistently fast. So regional 1, you might have a good time, but after that, you might be... people are going to catch up to you, and you might going to have a bit more of a trouble. You might make more mistakes, and you never know what you're going to get after that. So, but definitely a lot of good, promising signs. We were really well surprised by Leaf as well, coming in for Majiki. We saw some good consistency all around for a lot of teams. So with the teams that are in the semi-finals, truly deserved, and it's going to be an all-out brawler to get to the grand final.
Yeah, well, we aren't far off starting this as well. The teams are already in their pre-match warm-up. Everybody's in. Leaf has just joined as the last player. And Leaf, I think it's very worth mentioning here. Leaf coming in quite late for Majiki, costing the team a lot of points to add him in here. But he's been a hugely valuable addition, and probably one of the players that made me talk about that consistency factor.
Yeah, and well, if you want to be technical, if they get to the grand final and win, they get all those points back.
Yeah, exactly.
That they lost for the global.
One regional.
So, you know, big brain move here. You know, one regional and you're back where you were before. Of course, they do have to beat Restless to get there first. But to be honest, I actually put, if they have a good starting day, I think they can give a good fight to Restless, even though that Restless on paper on most maps is faster, at least when we look at the online times, at least.
Well, we can see what maps they might have that potential to be faster on here, or perhaps it will be Majiki as the start of our pick ban phase begins. And it's going to be SQLC picking for this red side for Majiki. There it is, Sinuous banned out first. Yeah.
I mean, its scars are in the mud again. Like, he built Gyroscope, nobody wants to play it. He built Sinuous, only one ice turn, nobody still wants to play it. So just an unlucky scars.
We had it yesterday. Like, at least it was on day one, right? Like, out of the gates, it was once.
But it is interesting because, again, this is what we talked about yesterday about Sinuous, because the identity is very simple. So you really have to be confident that you can beat the other team on that map. And we have Crip, which has produced some good rounds as well. Gotta love that identity. That on the edge, we're on the edge turns to go around the poles as well.
Give some nerves.
Vortex. It's been a really good favorite for a lot of people, but again, it's somewhat similar to Sinuous, but that Vortex one can still just be like chuck you outside.
I feel like Airwalk is anything with air in the title. We had Aeropipes last time, was probably the most entertaining map to watch. I think Airwalk might be this time as well. Airwalk's got to be the most entertaining to watch for me. Yeah, Aeropipes is it's happening again.
Don't even go there. The troll despair of Aeropipes. It's like absolute PTSD is in my head. I can already imagine like somebody landing on that pipe and getting a slowdown. Never again. It was literally you threw the dice and it's like throw the dice and be gone with it. It's basically, but you know, it was still a fun map. It produced some of the most interesting rounds. But yeah, off-roads? But do we get breaking?
Yes, we do. Oh my goodness, breaking picked. I was about to say that I think breaking is a map that should actually be picked. Not one of my favorite maps of the season, don't get me wrong. Pool is the last pick and Frosty will be the random. But I think breaking should be picked relatively regularly, because if you are good at it, you're going to have a very big advantage over any team that hasn't put that time in. Because breaking's not going to be a favorite here.
That is, at least for APAC, it hasn't been the most favorite map to be picked. It is the 5th map, so we do need, because it is a best of 7, Majiki would need to win one of the maps or get a back and forth going to get to breaking. So that is something to keep in mind. But, I mean, overall, a good pool of maps as well. We do have some... Grip, I think, is a good warm-up map, and then you go on to Vortex. Yesterday, of course, our first map was Vortex. I don't know if you want to consider it as a good warm-up map, but I think it's a good pool. We are off to a good start, and hopefully we get breaking as well, because I do want to see how the players are going to be playing that as well.
I do wonder if Restless has made picks based on Majiki's performance yesterday as well, because Majiki did make appearances on stream multiple times yesterday, and there's probably a fair bit to learn about the playstyle from these guys at this point, what they're the best at, to take those maps away, particularly from Leaf after showing a fair bit of consistency at decent speed for APAC here as well. Restless will want to shut down the maps that they're good at.
Yeah, it's at least in regards to a bit of a spying on the enemy, at least. Restless did have a bit of an upper hand in that regard, as we didn't get to see them yesterday. So this is actually the first time they're going to be on stream. So as you saw before, Restless, represented by Red Bolt and Vinky Vase, going up against Majiki with Leaf and SQLC, and we start ourselves off on Grip. I mean, like we said, it's a banger map, one of the best maps in the pool, and we get to see how they fare this time. As for at least now, nobody forgot that there is a checkpoint ring to the right.
Yeah, it's good when the players have at least put the hours in to know where the checkpoints are. That is a positive. I'll agree with you on that one. SQLC definitely knows where things are because he is hitting apexes here. And these lines are perfect, using the sides of the dirt there to get as maximum speed as he can through. Does he hold it through the slow section with the water? Winky Face right on top of him as he enters now into the identity. It's Winky Face right on top of him. But it does look like a solid lead from SQLC.
Yeah, but it's gonna be staying in the same positions. Draw to start us off. Leaf does have a bit of a moment when he goes around the corner, but it is a draw to start us off, so a good start nonetheless. Also, a bit of a shout out as well. I don't think I mentioned it yesterday. The skin for Majiki looks absolutely nice with
really
the logo they have. It looks really clean. Must give a shout out to that. Looks like nice chrome and everything. It looks really nice as well. So. Just to a bit of a side note, I think I didn't mention it yesterday, but it's just really nice overall. But yeah, so far at least, to be honest, everybody is driving good pace. Leaf did have a bit of an incident last round, but as you can see on your screens, nothing to really separate them.
Nothing at all right now. They are on top of each other. Winky Face leading, but only by tenths here, maybe less, as Winky is being closed on by SQLC. SQLC goes wide to gain that speed. Good line on the outside there and cuts through the pack. Gets out in front now. Majiki leading again. Leaf this time has been able to hold some line but makes a mistake and drops back at the last moment. SQLC going to finish off in first, and it will be the same result again. Another draw with Leaf coming in behind. Just as we were talking about his consistency, 2 rounds in a row he's making the mistake.
I mean, I think at least this point he has also understood that he has to push because so far nobody's made a mistake apart from him, basically. So it just shows that he has to fully stand it. And
there we go.
Did he touch the start? Or,
I think SQLC just missed the checkpoint completely. Went too low.
Yeah, that might
That's
be
what I was talking about yesterday. Because if you cut that super low and you actually do get the checkpoint, if it registers, you get a massive speed gain out of that first checkpoint into the rest of the map. But you need to hit that ground with grip after hitting the checkpoint. It's no good if you don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I would just take like a 10th loss and make sure that I get that checkpoint, because losing 8 seconds to that is not the best solution. But Leaf now has to really push it to avoid an ace
Leaf
coming in through. But gets ever so close. Rippled is out, but Winky does come in first. Is it close enough? No. SQLC is too far behind to really take advantage of that. That could have been a good round and maybe another draw. But now Restless is gonna be in front with 1 point. Taking a bit of an initiative in this map as Majiki, I mean, the pace is there, but those little unforced errors have cost them a bit, but it's looking very promising for them, at least, because they're really putting Restless up the pace and really need to push. Everyone needs to push as Red Bolt clips the corner there and now falls a bit behind.
Good lines by SQLC, but not catching Winky Face just yet. Leaf on top as well. Leaf doing a lot better than the opening 2 rounds there. Winky, not the perfect transition. SQLC very low onto it, gets a bit of speed, but tiny little tap there is going to cost him the speed and the position to be able to take that first. I think Winky Face out in front hasn't had any issues with consistency through this track, even when not taking the lead. Should have this sorted now. Red Bolt right behind as well with SQLC closing, but I'm not seeing a draw out of this one either. Winky Face coming through first. Oh, that's so close. SQLC might have just snuck it. No, nothing though. A 10th between Red Bolt and SQLC.
A close one indeed, but it just shows, like, of course, I think a lot of people know as well, if you've played the global campaign and not the Trackmania World Tour campaign, you should know who Winky Face is. He's a very notorious hunter of maps as well, and it shows here he is fast. There's a reason why he's able to be fast, and on these maps, definitely the practice is put in, and Leaf and SQLC have to really push it to the very limits
Speaking of
because
Leaf.
Winky Face.
Oh,
but
SQLC.
SQLC goes a bit too inside and now suffers from that. So yeah, Winky Face basically only man up front all the time, and the Majiki boys have to really catch up to him.
Oh,
and
that's
Red
a good
Bolt is
line by
just, you know,
Leaf.
yeah,
Gets out
it's a
in
good
front.
line, but can he overtake? Oh,
He is right out in
there.
front. Has to hold this last corner, though. He cannot safe this. Has to hold maximum speed. Winky might have just made it in front and has indeed taken it back. Leaf was able to hold that second spot, but SQLC made another error through there and falls back. SQLC was the most consistently fast through the early rounds of this, but as the competition's closed up and the pressure has gotten higher, SQLC seems to be struggling with it.
Yeah, and Winky Face is pulling off some amazing times. He's constantly doing 53s mid there, which is close to what Majiki have as PBs. So Winky Face is literally putting them on the spot to ride their PBs constantly, and it's proving to be a very difficult task at the moment. But it's good signs for Restless and Majiki. You can see just the pace is there. Like Leaf and SQLC are pulling everything they can, but they're just a bit too far away, and as SQLC touches, it puts Leaf in a position to deny. But they only need 1 point, so that would be a track point no matter what happens here. Even if Leaf gets first, it's going to be a dub for Restless, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, decent points out of a map pick for Restless here from Majiki. They did have some fight in them. It really did come down to actually the consistency failing them there a little bit through this map. 12-4 it will be. Restless securing an ace really for the first time right at the end there.
Yeah, no, that's a convincing track, I would say. That grip is some maybe the teams in the other semi-final maybe need to take some note on as well. Maybe they're watching the match as well. Could be possible. So that is something to keep in mind. But we move on to an interesting map, of course. It is a Vortex. So that will be the one. Like, I have a bit of a soft spot for Vortex. I really enjoyed hunting this. I think I said it yesterday as well, but there's something to this. I don't know what it is, but banana maps always have a bit of a soft spot for me. I don't know why. I always find them liking them. They are awkward. They are not they're awkward. They're different, but in an interesting way, I would say.
Red Bolt as well. We were talking about those world times on main campaign and stuff. Red Bolt really does peak pretty hard there as well. Top 15 world campaigns most of the time from Red Bolt, and he also shows up really, really well in the advanced campaigns a lot of the time. So he has some massive mechanical edge to him there, Red Bolt too. So can be a terrifying player.
Yeah, as we see a bit of a mod check moment for Red Bolt, as maybe some internet moments here, so we are waiting for a moment. But yeah, Red Bolt and Winky Face showing the pace as well. Knowing their online times, they're really putting those on display as well. So as we said beforehand as well, right, Restless are the favorites. But Majiki have been the ones to do some upsets as well across the regionals. They were the ones to beat Volby as well. Or at least, no, it wasn't Volby, I believe. They came close to beating Volby in one of the regionals, if I remember correctly. So definitely they have the pace to take down Titans, but can they do it on Vortex is to be seen now.
Majiki's map pick coming through now. They will not lead out of the gates. Winky Face and Red Bolt getting good starts here, but great transition there as well from Winky Face. Leaves Leaf and SQLC with a fair gap behind now already. Leaf actually must have made a mistake back there. Didn't see that go down, but a full second behind at this point, and SQLC chasing seemingly impossibly. This is fast pace set by Restless.
It might be Majiki's pick, but when you go up against somebody that is really fast, it sometimes doesn't matter what map is, as Winky Face does have a bit of a moment on the pipe, and again another moment on the pipe, and again another moment on the pipe, so it is up to Red Bull to hold the first position.
He made it.
A bit of a pipe moment there, but now it's up to Red Bull to hold first position.
Oh!
SQLC has overtaken him, and there it is.
Does he go high?
Majiki going in the lead. A nice victory on the board, and that's a good way to start off for them.
Yeah, didn't see the high line taken through the ending section there too, just above the grass there. If you can get right onto that top line in the grass, really, you get some major speed coming back down that wall. SQLC was low enough. I thought there might be some risk if Red Bolt had made that line. The overtake might have been available. 0.1 probably in the mix there for it, but neither of them took that high line.
Yeah, well, it is. I do believe that it sometimes does depend on how your entry is, because you can get a bit of a wobble when you get from the pipe, so you cannot really correct it, and you just sort of gotta go for it and hope for the best. And we see that at the moment, at least, Majiki, they really want us to see breaking. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All Majiki. Of course, I cannot be too biased. I mean, but it's looking really good for them. Clearly, the map pick is in their favor, though.
I'm not biased for Majiki. I'm biased for breaking. Let's see Majiki take a map here. I want to see map 5.
Yeah, that's the dream. That's the goal for the day. At least see breaking once. And Majiki are listening to our prayers, and they're looking really good as well. Like, the pace is there, and they've been looking very solid. Red Bolt has fallen significantly behind, so Winky Face really has to hope for a pipe incident for Majiki. But this identity...
Oh, Leaf!
Of course, when I say that Leaf falls off, why do I even speak again? Ooh, Leaf. Oh, but Leaf now has to respawn once again. So now Red Bolt has overtaken him. So it will be a draw after all. So a bit of a incident there again. And it allows Red Bolt, after a long distance away, to take a draw for the team.
Well, Majiki did pretty well there to make that draw anyway. I mean, Leaf made the error, but SQLC's pace was set nicely, and Majiki are showing why this is a map pick for them, I think, despite that error there from Majiki. I'm expecting this to continue to be fairly consistent on map picks from Majiki in particular. Looking at yesterday, I think Majiki was in our first match of the day, and we saw that go back and forth. Once you had the map pick in your favor, that was going to be the win. And I'm seeing similar scorelines out of the last map. We might see the same thing happen again.
Yeah, and to be honest, the one thing that a lot of pros have said as well, the worst thing that can happen to you is to go actually 2-0 down at the start, because this was the first map pick as well that you took, and you lost on it as well. So it sort of sets you up sort of like, God, we didn't even win our first pick.
Yeah.
Well, this is not looking really good now, is it? So yeah, it's very important to get momentum going, and at the moment we see that again. It is a draw position, and SQLC, as much as he's trying and does push a bit ever so closer, it's not going to be enough, and it is another draw on the board. Leaf did have a bit of a clip, I do believe, but he's far in front enough to still secure a draw.
Yeah, Red Bolt with a few more mistakes there. A little bit uncharacteristic for Red Bolt as well, particularly on a map that I haven't found this one of the most difficult identities in the map pack. Definitely can throw a wrench in the works when you least expect it, but I think with a bit of practice, these spinners shouldn't be too much of an issue, particularly if you're making the map pick. So I don't want to see too many more mistakes out of Majiki.
Yeah, and again, it is something I'm sure a lot of people in Discovery were like, ain't no way, this is an identity, how is this consistent?
Exactly.
But surprisingly, a lot of these identities are a lot more consistent than first glance, like Airwalk. I think a lot of people were like, ain't no way, but SQLC, a bit of a slowdown. Oh no, it was Leaf actually who got the slowdown there, so it puts SQLC in the fighting position. But yeah, it's I think a lot of first assumptions were made about these maps, but overall I think it's proven to be a lot more exciting and a lot more closer than a lot of people expected. But for now at least, SQLC has to hope for a bit of a miracle on the pipes.
Pushing a Winky Face right now. Oh, the miracle is going to go the other way. Leaf now chasing up behind with SQLC. Red Bolt well behind, but he will have a chance here to make an additional point and even this thing out, and he will make it as well. That was a poor mistake from SQLC at the end there, just to cost them the lead here in the map.
It's a close one. It's a close one, and it's come down to those little things in the end, at least so far. Red Bolt has been having a bit of trouble with that quarter pipe jump. I will say that much. So I think it has been a few rounds that it has led him astray, but so far at least it hasn't really mattered. He's just kept the wrist clean, got through the pipes and has brought in the points, and he finds himself in first position as well now. So, I mean, looking all good at the moment.
Yeah, Red Bolt seems to have really cleaned up his game a bit, and Leaf right on top of him might be able to cost him something here. Does get a great line through the grass section as well with that booster, and cuts it nicely through the ice. Nobody quite on top of him. In fact, SQLC is the teammate backing him up here. Oh, an error from both.
Way.
No way. That is not what just happened. Red Bolt out in front with no competitors.
They both absolutely sent it, but they went absolutely flying. They really vortexed themselves out of the map there. But Winky Face and Red Bolt both... Oh no, Red Bolt had to... does get across. And Winky Face now gets across as well. But Leaf is in pursuit. But after everything is said and done, that's an ace for Vortex, which started off as an ace for Majiki, not gonna lie. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah. It is a case that if you go too tight to the pipe, you're just not gonna land it, and you're just gonna fly directly off, and that's exactly what happened. Carbon copy for both teammates on that particular case, at least.
That is brutal. Really, really important stage of this map as well. Restless now within reach of just taking the map here and now. Red Bolt out in front by a little bit. Leaf might be able to get in here, chasing very closely. SQLC not far behind. Fairly tight pack out of the gates here. But Restless seems to make it up in the latter half if they can hold back the mistakes across the identity. Now SQLC and Leaf actually making that in the latter half now. Going through into the plastic. Good lines. And SQLC making good time.
Yeah, and now they're in a position to get that ace back as well. But as soon as I see that Leaf goes a bit too inside and clips the border connecting the blocks, so now SQLC does have to hold up in front. Otherwise, they're gonna give a track point to Restless, and SQLC pulls it through. Red Bolt has had to respawn, so a good thing for Majiki. They do get the victory and put themselves at 9-7, but that does mean that they need the ace to take that track point. Yeah. And it's the 9-7 once again.
It has to be an ace from Majiki here if they want this. It is incredibly tight map here, and it was Majiki's pick, so they do not want to go down 2 maps in a row here. We might not see that map 5 after all. I was thinking this would be pretty close, and it has been, I guess, per map so far, but the series is looking just more consistently in Restless' favor.
Yeah, the thing is that they really got off to a good start. Their own map, good performance, good warm-up for them. They were really in the zone as well. It's just been a moments for Majiki where it's just one little thing hasn't gone their way, but it doesn't mean like they've been slow or they have like really been anything like being really behind Restless. Like they've been close enough, but Leaf has a bit of a bad transition going off the pipe. So now in a position where if Winky Face holds on to first or somehow still gets second, that's gonna be good enough. So a miracle is needed as SQLC is getting across the pipe. Winky Face does get across, and it is the nail in the coffin for Majiki's pick here as Restless to take it and go 2-0 up in front. And an opportunity, I think, for Majiki that I think they're gonna be like, oh damn it, we could have gotten it. We were really close there. But those just few moments there did lead him astray.
Yeah, I mean, another very, very close map there. 11-8, only 2 points away for Majiki, but it was their map as well. And now we swap back to a Restless pick. That does not bode well. I think Restless, I mean, they looked good out of map 1, don't get me wrong, but they look more warmed up now. They are absolutely looking slick as they go into map 3, one of their own picks.
And I do believe that the last time we saw them, like Winky and Red Bolt, wait, I'm now thinking, I was about to say that, we saw a Restless on Airwalk. We didn't see Restless at all yesterday.
No, we didn't see them at all.
What are you on about? So, yeah, but I do remember at least that a lot of people had really consistent lines, at least for the top teams, that Airwalk didn't really prove to be a problem as SQLC clips the inside corner, has to respawn. Never mind what I just said. Continue on.
And Majiki we did see a couple of times, but I don't believe we saw Majiki on this map either. So the identity could be questionable for either of these teams at this point. We have no idea. Have to see what they prove on the track. And round one going very well for Restless. Winky Face chased down by Red Bolt, his own teammate here. Oh, big mistake through the no braking section. Not usually too much of an issue, but if you want to take the fastest line, you will face down that corner in the middle there.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little 1v1 in the front between Leaf and Red Bolt. Who's going to get it? Red Bolt goes for the farther end, but he's going to overjump. You don't want to hit it, but they both have to respawn. So it's again what they go for a second try, and after all said and done, it's going to be an ace for Majiki. And what looked to be one of those rounds where Restless were looking all good turned everything upside down. Both had to respawn, but it allowed an SQLC to come back once again, or leave. At this point, it was so hard to follow that route, but it's an ace for Majiki.
Actually incredible. We were just talking about the fact we hadn't seen proof that they were either team was consistent with this identity. There's Majiki's proof, I guess, from one of them, and it wasn't the one in front. So I don't know. This is anybody's map at this point, still, even with an ace in Majiki's favor.
Yeah, but it's the best start they've had. But Leafy landing a bit too inside there, but puts him a bit behind. But Airwalk, if one of the players up front doesn't get it clean, Leafy's not far behind. That 1 second is absolutely nothing. That respawn can be a lot more treacherous. So because you sort of know when you are screwed towards the end of the identity, and
exactly.
that takes a fair bit. So. For now, it's still looking good for Majiki, but at the moment, Winky Face now up front, where he's been most of the match, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of time you waste before you know if your run is ended by this jump is, I think, the only map that can take you out of this more has to be braking, which we are being threatened with not even seeing right now. Leaf has to make this through, comes in last place there, but SQLC coming in second does cut the point gain for Restless down. Majiki's still in a lead by 2.
Yeah, but it's definitely looking very good, and very good for Majiki. There was a moment, of course, there that he had to respawn, but it's looking really good, and that's exactly what Airwalk is. Most of the map actually is relatively simple, so it is one of those maps where it is most of the time decided in the identity, and it can shuffle a bit. But overall, the map itself is simple. You have a few drifts here, some grass sections there, and nothing really absolutely complicated or out of this world. For example, when you compare it to braking, where you have a lot of mechanics going on all the time. But for this, at least, we see a similar sight. Winky Face first, followed by Leaf, and Red Bolt and SQLC are battling at the back.
Yeah, and in braking, obviously, you've got plenty of areas in the map that can cut insane amounts of time out of your run as well, where here it is all down to the identity, even if you've had a slow run up into that point. Winky Face getting through there and doesn't make the finish either. Red Bolt will come in first, SQLC getting second. Winky Face still resetting through, does make it in time, and Leaf coming in second means that's going to be a draw.
Well, there it is. Again, Winky Face has had a few moments on that identity. I haven't seen how he sets up for it as well, because I've seen like all kinds of variety. Some players go straight, some players tilt their car to the left, some tilt their cars to the right. Everybody has their own way of doing that identity, which is fascinating, which shows that, you know, this identity works in very mysterious ways, and nobody still knows how bumpers work fully, so everybody's doing their own thing that seems to be working, at least.
New block is always scary, right? SQLC well behind right now, as Leaf tries to chase down Red Bolt. Winky Face is having some major issues here, actually. I think might be facing down... I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a tech pause out of Winky Face after this round.
Well, yeah, well, he was saying in-game chat that he has been having some lag on occasion, but that might be boiling down to the network as well. But it allows Leaf to come in first. SQLC is third, and it is a victory for Majiki, and it's looking really good at the moment. And I believe that's actually
Restless
That
is
is
map
Leaf's
pick.
PB as well, because at least in the online times, he had a 57.8, and he drove a 56.9 now, so...
Wow,
it's
that's an
clearly showing that
incredible
some people
game.
are doing some offline times.
Yeah.
Hey, people, just get online. We want to see the good times, you know, but at least this one will be getting recorded, so
Yeah.
there it is. Leaf
I
can
mean-
be fast. What a surprise.
We probably will see more online times start to pop up now that the first regional is down. But holding your lines to yourself can be pretty crucial, actually, before this point. Now, Winky Face up in front by some margin. Very fast lines in the early section of this does give him a bit of an advantage. But SQLC, as long as he gets that consistent ending here, Winky Face has had problems with it. There's nobody who hasn't had problems with it, but... There's definitely question here whether Winky Face can hold it, and we'll find out right now as they enter that identity. Winky Face forward onto that second pad. Does look like it's good for him, and it will be SQLC in second place. Leaf making it a draw.
Oh, that is good. Now, that's the time that we expect from Winky Face. A lower end 56. That's what you should be aiming for in rounds as well. A low 56 is a very good time as well. So Winky now getting up to par as well. Maybe that hasn't had the best of luck on the bumpers, but really looking good. But most importantly, Majiki is on track point with a comfortable lead. They do have 3 points. The gap between Restless, and they only need 2 points, so it's looking really good for the team, but they still have to put the dot at the end of the sentence as well and really pull this through so we can actually get breaking. This is all what it's about. It's not about winning any track, it's about us getting breaking. That's the whole point of this tournament, us getting breaking.
That is not wrong. We want the full map pack on display. SQLC now the only one that can really put a fight to this before the identity is chasing up Red Bolt, who seems to have second sorted right now if he can make the identity. Oh my goodness! SQLC going miles left. Might have just sacrificed his run. Definitely should have. Resets from everybody though. What is happening right now? Nobody has made it. SQLC has just come in second. Winky Face makes it. Red Bolt in third. And Leaf will come in last place. But that means Majiki is only 1 point away.
Okay, well, one of the rounds ever. That's a 102 finish time.
One of them.
I think that the greatest race of Airwalk recorded. I don't know what happened there because it was very hard to follow.
That was me racing.
Like
it's fine.
Was gonna finish. I don't know what happened to him in the finish block.
Somebody was just running my ghosts. That's that was a recording.
We just uploaded replays to the server and let it run, and just for this round. But yeah, that was an interesting.
Oh, SQLC, no! That did not just happen. SQLC just dove right off into a hole on the right side of the map and just took himself out of the race.
Well, either way, we still have to somehow focus on the round from the previous one. Majiki need only 1 point, and Leaf is second. That is the minimum they need. So, all in all, it's looking good for Majiki to take that track point that they need to go into at least minimum map 5. But they have to get the identity. It's been a bit of a moment for all the players, so they have to get it. Winky Face looking pretty good.
Leaf has to get this.
Can Red Bolt snipe it?
There it is. Oh my goodness, Red Bolt.
There it is. Leaf holds onto it, and that's a GG. Barely.
Incredibly close. And that is Majiki trading map picks with Restless. Restless takes one from them. Majiki just takes it back on Restless's map pick. And now they are back to their own, and they could even this up if they hold through here.
Yeah, but with all that settled and done, ladies and gentlemen, we will have breaking. That is now officially confirmed. We've
done it. We've done it, ladies and gentlemen. Us.
We've done it, chat. You have been cheering on Majiki. Maybe, I don't know how many people are rooting for Majiki or who's rooting for Restless. Maybe we should have a poll every time before chat starts. You know, who's rooting for who? You know, it would be nice to know. But
yeah, not just the vote.
I mean, people enjoy a good gamba. I mean, I managed to flush everybody's points by making people believe that Gyroscope is gonna be picked in Challenger. Oh, good times. The gullible people in chat. Oh, lucky. But either way, would be nice to know at least who supports
Oh.
who. But for now, at least, it seems to be that the Majiki are finding new wind going into off-road.
Yeah, and Majiki are looking very good for off-road right now. Leaf well ahead and looking consistent again here. Reminder that Leaf is the new pickup for the squad as well, and looking so good right now, well out ahead. Red Bolt makes a mistake as well, and now it's Majiki with free reign out ahead. Really nothing to this. SQLC might have just made a mistake to give a little time back here, as Red Bolt does get within vision at least, but it does look like Majiki still have this under control.
Yeah, it's looking like that map win at the moment is proving to be pretty good for them, as we alluded before. Winkyface has had some network issues before as well, so maybe it's throwing him a bit off. You know, you never know. Sometimes those little things can get to some people as well. But for now, at least, Majiki are like, new win. We got the round. We are now gonna hammer it down, and Majiki with an ace to start off. Like, I mean, again, the perfect start. They started off with an ace on the previous map, and they started here as well.
And Leaf with a 56.39 to set that pace as well. Very, very fast round from Leaf there. You can tell this is where his time has gone.
Yeah, and to look at the online times, everybody's PB is a 56 flat.
Yep.
Everybody. So this is now a map where they're on paper, at least when we look at their PBs, should be even Steven. But will it be also in rounds? Looking pretty good, but Red Bolt has made an earlier mistake, so now it's up to Winkyface to deny another ace for Majiki. And he is in the lead, so it's looking promising, but there's two really fast men right behind him, hunting him down, and as they go across the checkpoint, they're in the lead. So can they actually do it? Can they get a back-to-back ace? The first one, I believe, of this match, and it's gonna come into fruition.
Oh.
2 aces in a row. Majiki looking live as ever.
And really, really close there, as well as Winkyface came through a couple of hundredths behind Leaf. Did put some contest to it, but Red Bolt well behind meant that was going to be at least a victory for Majiki, who are looking fantastic on their second map pick.
Yeah, this is looking very good, and you know, the caster guys talking about Restless being the favorite. So what do we know about apparently anything? Like,
No.
Always the coolest guys, you know, but
Casters never know anything. That's the rule, for at least according to Twitch chat.
Yeah, it's always like we talk about all the things, but we sound like we know everything, and then they start playing,
Wow,
and it's always the complete opposite of what we are talking about. It's the usual prove the caster wrong moment, but all props to Majiki. They are really now smelling the blood in the water, and with their map pick now being the fourth one, of course, it's a really nice way to bounce back. You took their map pick, and you get your own, and it's looking absolutely dominant at the moment. They're looking to get 3 aces in a row against Restless.
I mean, not only that, but they're doing it with pace every single time. This is crazy, the consistency at this speed, time and time again. SQLC cutting that 56 flat there.
Yeah, and that's literally, like I said, what did I say before? 56 flats were PB, so SQLC is really putting Restless through the grinder now. So any believers in chat for 4 aces in a row for Restless interviewing? Any believers? It's gonna it actually has happened before, I believe. I don't think I think it was, funnily enough, I think it was actually Big in the EU regional. I remember fondly that managed to just pull like 3 or 4 aces in a row to come back in one match. So a bit of a nod to that. I don't know about any other regionals, but for now at least, with everything as it is, Leaf is the man to hold up front. They need only 1 point, but
SQLC is well back.
They don't look to give up, at least.
Yeah, SQLC cutting that 56 flat is probably less surprising than anybody else here, because he might be one of the only players in APAC right now whose PB is recorded as less than a 56, actually. He had a 55.968 as his top time.
Yeah, and I did see at the moment that Winkyface has a bit of a moment there. He's enjoying the ground aspect a bit upside down. I do believe he called the early GG, I think, on that, because I think he already sort of figured out from the positions that this is a bit of a lost cause, maybe, and was like, you know what? you take the dub here, Majiki. Fair enough. I'll just take the next map. But a bit of a moment there. Maybe Pinky Face, I don't know. The mentality maybe is getting there a bit. And Majiki's on the high and Restless maybe not so much now.
Yeah.
Could be a bit, but we have breaking now. Finally, we are here.
Interesting to see what this does to the mental state for Restless as well. I think they came into this very, very confident, and then they looked like they had that reason to, but suddenly Majiki are looking top of the world, and this is going to be really interesting coming into breaking. It is Restless pick though, and I feel like when this is the map pick for you, you have to be very confident on breaking.
Yeah, but would you say that Team Restless is getting a bit restless? Gex, would you say that? Are they getting a bit restless now with everything is said and done? But yeah, either way, it is a map that we haven't seen at all, and the start already is proving to be a bit of a pickle for at least two of the players. As Leaf and Winky Face get through it very nice, but Winky Face just zooms past Leaf with no trouble whatsoever. They're up front as SQC does give us a nice shadowing for his teammate, but it is an interesting map. Like we said before, it has a lot of mechanics in it, and it's probably one of the most demanding tracks as well, as somehow Winky Face survives that little touch.
Huge line by Leaf, but he absolutely bends it up the wall, and Winky Face, good drift around that hairpin. Now that wide line makes it risky. SQLC chasing up Winky Face here, might have one opportunity just because of this identity, but Winky Face does it right and will take out first spot. SQLC cutting the points back. Red Bolt now finishing in third, and Leaf coming through, still trying to obtain this identity.
Yeah, exactly. And for those people wondering why are they doing all kinds of wiggles, braking and stuff as well, it is engine off, reactor, and you have to slow down before it to make that turn. And a fun fact as well, maybe not a lot of people know, when you have engine off and reactor, if you press the accelerator, you do actually go faster. So engine off does not negate reactor acceleration. So there's a lot of little things that you have to note there. So a lot of things going on at once, and they have to keep that in mind, as Red Bolt is somehow still at the start as far as I can see. So Winky Face needing to get a draw here.
Red Bolt has started moving, but yeah, Winky Face is going to need that draw. As Majiki proved that they can make this through, it's going to be issues on that identity though. Oh, maybe elsewhere as well. SQLC bins it through the checkpoint.
Maybe we were a bit conscientious as why do people don't pick braking, because at the moment a lot of people are having a bit of a moment. Winky seems to be in his own element, having fun, but everybody else is not really enjoying the moment here on the map. Somebody does have to finish, otherwise it will be an ace. Okay, so SQC does finish. Oh. No, well, Leaf gets to practice a bit as Red Bolt is so far behind that none of them will finish. But that means it's a victory for Restless. Everything is set and done. So it's a great race. So yeah, maybe we were a bit optimistic in regards to braking. Maybe there's a reason why APAC doesn't really want to pick this.
I think there's a solid reason for anybody not to want to pick this one. This is just so punishing. It is a fun map when you have a good run on it, and just trying to set times, that's fine. But when you're here in competition, you've got to be consistent. It is a really hard map for consistency.
Yeah, and there's a fragile around every corner. There's an on-off block. There is ice that you have to squeeze your way through this checkpoint into a downhill. Dirt outside turns, like bends across the board. There's just so many things going on, and if one of those things doesn't go your way, you're in the mud. So really, it's as we see Leaf enjoying the barrier mud, and Red Bolt and Winky Face are now 1 and 2, and that's an ace.
Yeah, this is an ace.
Restless. That is clean.
A very clean ace. SQLC not far behind Winky Face, but not enough to get a point back into this. Majiki are going to sit on 2. Restless getting 3 out of this one and starting to look very good on the track.
Yeah, so we go from one dominant performance to another one, and this is where we see a bit of the tussle between the teams as well. We go into more of the later picks. Those picks that you pick because you do like the map, but maybe you haven't practiced them as that much. Maybe you haven't really put the time and effort to maybe one of those first picks you did. So we get to see that there's a lot of ups and downs as it goes around the track here.
Winky Face taking a lot wide line to get the most speed through here. Might be having some issues there as well. Red Bolt falling back to the back of the pack here, fighting Leaf for that spot. And Leaf will make it ahead. SQLC and Winky Face, though, on top of each other, down into the spiral, down to the dirt. And we'll all make it cleanly through this time. No massive mistakes early in the track this time around.
Yeah, everybody's actually made it through the entire track, but now it's the breaking identity where they really have to send it, and there's a lot of time to be gained. Who's willing to push it a bit more? SQLC is trying to send it, but goes a bit wider. That allows Winky Face with the tighter line to get the first position. It's a close round, actually, but it is in the end a draw. Winky Face got a nice tight line around the corner, and it allowed. SQLC was going for speed, but Winky Face went for the precision.
Yeah, and that is, when we're talking about a map that does have so much problem with consistency, taking that consistent line is probably the right answer, especially here in APAC. You're not necessarily always going to need blistering speed if you can just consistently make clean finishes. And clean finishes were found pretty much by everybody there. It was just that little bit faster from Restless.
Yeah, and to give props to Restless, yeah, they've been really good. To be honest, if anything, again, Winky Face, he's the man to beat on most of these maps for Majiki, and Winky Face showing why he's a very dominant player, not only in global campaign, but also in World Tour, as he's just zooming away and actually giving us a really good course on how to do this map cleanly and without any mistakes. So really looking good for him, and he's looking to get another first position. Very nice, very calm and collected, clean as ever. And with that and the positions they are in, they take the victory and the track point as well. That is a quick GG back from Restless.
Yeah, SQLC making an error earlier in the map, only just made it to the identity there, and has decided he's probably not going to bother with this one. Seconds left on the timer.
I mean, it's at that point, that would be a nice token finish, just to end the map a bit quicker. But at that point, it doesn't really make much of a difference. They've already won, and now we are 3-2 the scoreline, and we go on to Pool. Now, Pool is an interesting map. Again, very similarly, nothing very complicated for the entire map, but the identity, there is so fine margins. If you want to push it, those little blocks on the side can send you flying. So this could be an all-out brawl again, and for Majiki, it's a do-or-die situation, because if they give that track point and match point to Restless, that is the end of their journey for today.
It is an interesting map because when you come down to it, like you said, it's fairly simple. To get through the track is not that big a deal. To get through it with speed, however, is. And there are some big slowdown points on this map. Of course, the identity being the largest point of that. And the identity on this can be lethal. If you've got some good speed and you don't take that right, you will just cut it all out of your run.
And you get a nice moment as well for those people that maybe they missed day one as well, or haven't really followed the maps as well. Like Pool is a nod to a previous map in the, well, not in the World Tour, in the Grand League to be more exact, as Poolside used to be a map. So it's a bit of a homage to an old map, a bit of a new coating of paint that it got, and it finds itself in the map as we see, going to the left, going to the reactor under the water. Hello, I'm under the water. And as with everything is gone, it is a draw in the end, but a close race, 55 flat, and it is a draw to start us off.
Actually, some big catch-up there by SQLC at the end there as well. Had some space between him and the first two positions there, and made that next to nothing by the end of the race.
Yeah, and that's exactly why the Pool map can be really nice as well. Even if you do the identity clean, there's potential there to go so much faster.
Yeah.
And it allows sometimes to just catch up on the identity. And when you feel like you're first, all of a sudden you find yourself
Whoa.
2 tenths. Leaf still somehow keeps driving, but now he finds himself very far behind with SQLC looking to get another draw.
Oh,
on
SQLC
the board.
too.
That is looking to be an ace for Restless, and that would put them in a very comfortable position going into the next rounds.
And particularly on such a simplistic track, once you've got a lead of this amount, you can just be a bit more comfortable. You can just take the clean lines and not worry about the, you know, insane speed through the final identity, and you know that you've already got it sorted. Red Bolt, though, has made a big error there and only just makes it through in front of SQLC. That is incredibly close.
That's a bit of a saved moment for Red Bolt. He got really stuck before the reactor. He was able to get it in the end, but that was just enough to hold off SQLC there. But now it's 3 points of a gap, and Majiki, well, in an ideal world, they would just get 3 aces and get a track point. But you gotta start somewhere, and ideally, of course, an ace back for them would be the perfect situation, as we see a good start. Everybody is nicely packed together, only a tenth or two separating them as they go on to the next section. Here, of course, again, water physics coming into work. You sort of
Leaf.
slide and want to snap back in. Leaf doesn't get it so well, but Vinky Face hits the corner, so it's Red Bolt's job to now hold off the ace, as Leaf is not so far behind, and Red Bolt has been a bit shaky on the identity.
Yeah, similar position actually that we saw that gain made through the identity, and there it is, Leaf catching up, actually overtakes Red Bolt and makes some room on his own teammate SQLC as well, but Red Bolt had a chance, wipes out at the last moment through that wall. Winky Face gets a little bit of a catch up on his teammate, but that does mean another ace for Majiki.
Yeah, and I do believe that was a PB by SQLC as well, 54.811. So the times that we are looking for are 55 flat for PB, so that is a really good rounds time. So that just shows these teams are in the semifinals for a reason, and they are all fast. It's just that it's hard to be fast consistently. Yeah. Even for the best players, like, yes, they've been playing for years and years, but sometimes when you're pushed to the very limits, even the best players can crumble or make that little mistake that they're maybe not so used to making, and we see that here as well. But both of these teams are putting up a good fight, and for now at least, SQLC is in a position where he has to hold off a draw or not allow an ace to be got back into the game.
It does look like he has the opportunity to not make this an ace, but Winky Face has had an amazing run through here and might just be able to take that lead from him. Yes, he will. Winky Face holds him off, and SQLC coming in second means it is a victory for Restless, but it's only a 1 point lead on Majiki.
They're really putting their through the paces of 54.8 yet again. I mean, they're really pushing the limits of this track, and this is exactly why we enjoy watching Trackmania as well. The regional always produce some good stuff, and this is exactly the reason. Majiki see that there's not...
No! Both SQLC and Leaf just gone. Absolutely wiped out. Yeah, no, talking is always a terrible decision as a caster. I've learned that the hard way.
Oh my god, I'm sorry to all the Majiki fans for talking. But yeah, at this point they need a miracle for Restless to combust, Vinky Face to disconnect, and Red Bolt to somehow fly across the map and maybe get an Uber bug on the wall. I don't know how, but not really looking good. But yeah, this is going to be an ace for Restless, and now Majiki really need to get an ace back just to hold him off, because Restless only need 1 point.
This is brutal for Majiki on their own map pick as well. I'm sure they're terrified by the fact that, and this probably came into why the mistakes are being made, by the fact that they made this map pick and then Restless are just as good as they are. This has been neck and neck. You don't expect to make a map pick and have this be this close.
Yes, I think I'm gonna do it for the content. Restless have been absolutely amazing on this map so far. With a 9-5 lead, they're looking to only get 1 point. Oh, god damn it. Well, SQLC, come on. I'm trying to build a narrative here. Let me finish. But either way, Leaf is at the moment in second position with Restless at the moment looking
The
to
timing
actually
on
take
that.
the match and track point as well. It's looking very good for them as well. I mean, I
The
tried,
chat,
chat. I really
the
tried my
chat was
best.
asking for it. Yeah, they were say please jinx in the Twitch chat. Everybody knew that you had the power, but you had to call it out first. You ruined it for yourself.
Yeah, the thing is that it probably.
Whoa, oh
Okay,
my
Red Bull.
goodness. Majiki actually
The
come
Red
through
Bull
with the
did
first
slide out,
place.
but it is GG. It is
Yeah,
a draw.
they
It
only
is
need one.
enough. Majiki gave us a good battle in the end. It was a really close match as well. And I think something to think for other teams as well, because at first we gave Restless the benefit of the doubt that it will be a pretty simple series for them, but Majiki really put them through the paces. I'm not gonna lie. So a very good play by them, and they should be looking forward to the next regional as they are out because it is a single elimination. But for Restless, bit of food for thought. They might want to look at the next match to get some Note 10 ready. Maybe it might help them.
Yeah, that was very, very good by Restless. They really came through positively there, especially the first two maps there. Majiki put some question into them, and I think that's the question that everybody's going to be thinking about as they move forward to that grand final. But we aren't going into that grand final. We are going down to our lower side of this semi-final first, and we are going to head down and we are going to see Trident Esports versus Ferox Industries. Majiki put up a good fight there. I've got to say, Majiki did really give us some entertainment, and SQLC set some of the highest pace we have seen on those maps as well, setting PBs through there. So very well done to Majiki, and sad to see them go out there.
Yeah, so it was a good performance as well, and if anything, it just sets them up for a good regionals to come. And if anything, as we've said before, people are going to become faster, people are going to become more consistent, and what does that result, chat? More closer matches, and that is exactly what we love.
All right, well, we won't make you wait too much longer for that next series, but we need a short break after that best of 7, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Hello and welcome back for our second match of the day. We've already had one. Let's take a look quickly at our matches of the day. Restless versus Majiki already done, and Trident Esports versus Ferox Industries up next. What are we expecting out of this one? And probably good to get straight into game as well to see what we're expecting, because they're already in pick and ban phase.
Yeah, that is indeed true. Well, we have, of course, a familiar name when you're following it. We have, of course, from previously, Trident versus Ferox Industries. This is not the EU Ferox Industries, of course. Unfortunately, they cannot play the APAC Regional, but it is the APAC version of it. So, but given everything we've seen from yesterday and what we are seeing from pick and bans as well, this one may be even a more uphill battle, because Trident have looked absolutely insane throughout the tournament. Buyback and JSwag have been putting in the hours, and it's going to be a tough battle for Ferox, but you know, everything's possible. We said that last match, and we were sort of absolutely wrong, as Majiki really put Restless through the paces.
That's true. That's true. Majiki, I expected that to be the closer match of our two semifinals, to be honest. I could even see this possibly being a sweep in maps, but per map, I think this is going to be quite a contest still. I just think the consistency is there for Trident Esports here. I don't see them dropping a map.
Oh, that's true as well. And with pool, vortex, airwalk, off-road, sinuous speed, and braking as a decider map, so at least it made the list as well. I mean, it's looking to be an interesting one, but we see constantly like the lower, well, I would say lower seeded teams would go for those off picks. Vortex, every time it's been like the second map, the red team pick, you know, they try to throw in a spanner in the works. So, you know, there's some, you know, big brain things going on as well. Of course, I don't know if there's any. I know some people are very invested in checking every person's time and everything, so I don't know what to extent picks and bans already are going, but maybe there is some research behind it.
Well, let's get in for Pool, our first map up, and Pool has been problematic for some people. We've seen some really wide turns into blocks and stuff, but now that we're here in our semi-finals, we're expecting that consistency. We saw it last match for the majority, and we have a full map of New Zealand players. All the Kiwis out.
Yeah, this is, well, we said it as well. OCE is rising up in the APAC regionals as well, so definitely nothing to scoff at as well. But ladies and gentlemen, the second semi-final is going to be underway. Trident Esports with JSwag and Bayback going up against Sved and Planetary Goose for Ferox Industries. And we start off on pool as well. Hopefully you're all excited, and what we saw from the previous ways, I mean, I hope to see a lot of that as well. But given Trident Esports, I mean, they are most of the time very inseparable, as we already see it on the map itself.
Sved keeping pace here, as last man will be able to sneak past his teammate, but there's just tiny gains being made here in our first run through by Trident right now. It is their pick, and you expect them to be quick, but this is very clean so far. JSwag has been overtaken, and an entry found by Ferox, but Planetary Goose gets that tap, and it loses a lot of speed off of it. A crucial section not to lose that speed, and now Trident Esports once again, the pair out ahead.
Yeah, and look at that. This is looking to be a really good time as well. Now 55 fat, that's what we saw pretty much in the previous match as well. And both of them are doing it in the first round already. So it's a ace to start off for Trident Esports, and that is looking a perfect start, if anything. And exactly what we said it before, like Trident Esports looked absolutely amazing, and they seem to be not putting a foot wrong as they start off this match. But Ferox Industries, Planetary Goose was in the mix, just had a bit of that unfortunate moment towards the second half of the map, right before the identity.
Well, there's a bit of a pack forming again here in the front. This time Planetary Goose is the one dead in the center of it. It's a chase up by Sved, but the time is just not being found. JSwag, as that third man, is trying to make this an ace again, but that's a good line by Planetary Goose. Does he take it that bit too wide? Lost the speed on the turn in the grass.
Yeah, he lost the gear when he went for the jump, and it allowed then Bayback and J-Swag to immediately overtake, and with, again, absolutely next to one another, 55 flat again. They are literally driving almost like they're on the same controller, like nothing
Yeah,
to
I
really
know.
separate the two, and that is looking like a absolute devilish team at the moment. And 55 zeros, 2 rounds in a row. And Ferox Industries, well, you might slowly start to think of the next map. I mean, Vortex,
Yeah, yeah.
can we already, what is it, what's the usual, like, GG, skip next map, or what, can we already do
GG
a
go
quick vote?
next.
GG go next, yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
And Planetary Goose has a bit of a moment as well there. So Sved now has to deny a possible third
Said
ace.
with a good line though. Does have some pace on him and takes an inside line here as well. Does he have it through? Looked to be wide and was. It's a little tap around that final corner, and again Trident Esports out well ahead. This might be the first time we haven't seen them just inseparable. I think we've rarely seen a moment where a pixel separated those two cars.
Yeah, so this is good stuff. Yeah, the gap is the biggest it's ever been between the two, but
And it's still
54-8,
nothing.
it's absolutely insane times, and they're both just they're all props to them. They're driving absolutely perfect at the moment. There's nothing really to say much wrong about them as well, and it's a pick for them for a reason, clearly, as they only need 1 point, and if you blinked it, you missed it. We're almost at track point.
Yeah, 1 point away, so Trident can kind of almost take it easy a bit here. They only need somebody up in the pack, and they will have that person, J-Swag, getting out ahead again here as Sved loses a bit of time in behind Planetary Goose, who does have a say in this still. Oh, might lose it with that tap, but Bywak makes an actual mistake. That's the first time we've seen that. Planetary Goose misses the braking mark by a mile, though, and slams into the wall with no grip.
Yeah, but now Sweat, I mean, he is in first place, but if you look at the standings,
Yeah.
do quick math, the
Sved.
draw was more than enough for Trident. Sved might get a token first place, but even
No.
that seems like Trident are like, no.
Oh.
Ain't happening, bro. We're gonna do the ace, we're gonna do it cleanly. 12-0 to start off your own map pick. That must feel great as well. Sved had a more possibility to take a token point there, but Trident really didn't want any of that.
Yeah, you could hear the sentiments in the last moments of that, the horn going off. I think probably summarized that first map for Ferox, unfortunately. But we do go into their map pick now, so let's hope that they have quite a big punch back into this, because they're going to need it.
Yeah, that is exactly, well, that's the idea at least. On paper, sounds absolutely logical. But looking at Trident Esports at the moment, it's gonna be a tough task. But again, Vortex is one of those maps where you really, if you are comfortable picking it, then it is, of course, a map that you should be comfortable in beating your opponent as well, because it isn't a map that you just go like, it's your everyday map. You know, Vortex is a very hard map to go through cleanly to begin with.
Well, we've seen those mistakes come out time and time again. Do we see the consistency from Ferox in their own map pick? It doesn't look like we're going to see how Sved didn't make the jump. Wiped out on the side of the next platform. The transition not there for him, but Planetary Goose out leading. Might be able to still make it a draw. Looks like a fairly fast run, but Bywak cuts the line finer and gets back that first spot.
Yeah, and we see something that I did notice from the previous match as well. The bobsleigh, it's quite interesting how some people sort of tilt their nose a bit more upwards so they can sort of cut back in and get a nice acceleration coming out of the bobsleigh. Something to really note, and it does make a difference, as J-Spec does clip a bit of the corner, but it should be fine. But can Planetary Goose overtake Bayback, as Bayback so far just gone? It's literally nothing he's done wrong throughout this entire match, as J-Spec does come in third, and it's a victory for Trident Esports. And Bayback, I mean, MVP at the moment. He's literally, I think he's been first every single round, unless I'm mistaken. I'm gonna be honest, he's putting in a work and a half.
Yeah, nice to see Sved finishing that there. He actually did make the identity very, very cleanly there. So if he can avoid the mistakes in the earlier part of the track, I see why this would be a pick for him as well from Ferox's end. But Planetary Goose is going to have to do more than just prevent points from Trident. He's going to have to take some for himself. It's only one for Ferox in the first round.
Yeah, but it's one more point than in the previous
That's
map.
true.
So
that
it
is
is
true.
already 100% decrease in production.
Infinite
So for
percent.
Ferox Industries, it's a good start.
Oh,
But Sven has
Sved.
fallen again behind. So Planetary Goose, similar position. But can he do it again? Ideally, of course, a draw would be perfect. But 2-1 and what we saw from Bayback in the previous rounds, all the work to do for Planetary Goose. But looking better than previous round, I must admit.
Planetary Goose out ahead right now with better lines through this midsection. Can he hold it? Does look like a good line through this final section. Bywhack is going to slip back to third as Planetary Goose leads through. J-Swag doesn't take the high line, does maintain some speed, and the positions remain the same. 1/10 between J-Swag and Bywhack.
Yeah, that was a great race as well. Very nice indeed. Good stuff as well. And for now, at least, it's looking a lot more promising for Ferox. Now, the only part for Ferox that needs to click is Sved. If Sved can get going as well, I think they have a really good shot at taking a track point on this map, because it seems that Trident, they are fast, but Planetary Goose
Sved makes the error again. Oh, Sved is making errors on the easier parts of the track. I think that comes down to nerves. He knows what this track means to them, but that is brutal to watch, and I'm sure he feels it.
I mean, if anything, Planetary Goose is a good teammate, and they did the exact same mistakes.
Yeah.
So, you know, camaraderie there. But that is looking quite a rough end of the stick for Ferox Industries, as Trident Esports looking to get another ace on the board, and that is, well, unless they again combust on the pipes, that should be an ace for them. And apart from one round, Bayback again in the lead. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, that's a scary sight to behold. We've seen it across other regionals. If there's the team that has one player that is absolutely insane, that is a scary sight to behold.
Yeah.
And Trident Esports are really making it count. Ace on the board, 6-2 score, and looking to get another track point sooner than later.
Some of the teams, in particular around APAC right now, you can see that one player on the team who really pushes the envelope for the team and stuff. What's terrifying is that Trident has two members that do that. They are both just absolutely sending it every single time. Trident has consistency and speed, and we said that yesterday, but it is an important reminder because these guys are pushing for a spot against global teams, and that is what they need.
Yeah, and if they keep on doing this, I mean, they are in a good position as well. Like, every regional gets you 7 global points if you win the grand final. So that is potentially 21 points you can grab from the regionals alone. And that, in the context of the regionals, makes a huge difference. And especially with the global tour as it is, and with a lot of spots open for big competitions.
Oh, J-Swag.
Oh, as J-Swag does fall off, so maybe a kink in the armor.
Oh, and Sved can pass him.
Oh, there it is. So we talk nonsense. Apparently, Ferox can do something, but look who's in front. It's Bayback. So still, the
Goose
shield
hoping.
holds.
Oh, Bayback's gonna make it.
Bayback
Yeah,
is just a shield that has put the foot down, and nothing can get past him.
Sved still has to make it through the finish line. There it is, and J-Swag coming through now. The end of that identity, everybody making it through. But yeah, early errors there made by J-Swag do prove that Ferox have a look into this still, but they've got to conquer Bywhack as well. That's what I'm talking about. You have that one solid, incredible player on a team sometimes, but Trident has two. One goes down and you've still got the draw to just negotiate.
Yeah, it reminds me... funnily enough, it reminds me of Ferox Industries' EU team of Melion Matus. A very similar dynamic for Trident Esports. Two very fast players, and if one of them goes down, you're like, oh, they crashed, we got a chance.
Yeah.
Oh wait, one of them is still up front like half a second. hold up. So yeah, it's Trident Esports really making it count. Two very fast players, and you can see they put in the time. We were alluded to this as well beforehand as well, that Trident Esports, at least Payback and Chaseback, have put a lot of hours into these tracks, and it's showing. They're fast and consistent as well, which is a scary combination.
Sved making errors again in the early parts of this track, just making his efforts in the later part, which are extremely solid, irrelevant. It's brutal to watch, but Sved is definitely consistent in the later halves. Just has to make it there. Planetary Goose will hold for another draw here at least, but every point going towards Trident now could be the end of this match.
Yeah, it's sort of adding salt into the wound a bit as well. Of course, it doesn't really stem the bleeding at the moment, because you need to close that gap. And even if Ferox Industries take 2 victories at the moment, that's more than fine for Trident, because they only need 2 points. And with 2 victories, Ferox would be at 8, and that's not going to be enough. So they actually need, per minimum, 1 round to be an ace right now. And ideally, it would be now. And it is looking more promising at the moment, but it is, again, where Sved is slightly behind, and Trident Esports now chasing down Planetary Goose.
Sved at least keeping up pace this time. There is a gap to be made, but it is possible. Planetary Goose makes an error over the climb on the grass there, and as they go through into the ice slide, they will have quite a gap to make up. Trident Esports well out ahead now, and just have to be consistent. J-Swag is going to make it over that trouble spot that he had a couple of rounds ago, and it looks good for Trident.
Yeah, Sved had a bit of a moment on the pipe as well, and now with almost 2 seconds in front, and Sved also touches the wall early on. It's Baywack and J-Swag in a comfortable and position that they are very used to. 1 and 2 ace on the board, and there it is. 11 for the scoreline, and they take Ferox Industries track point, or at least the map pick as well. And this is looking to be a bit of a of course, we cannot call it earlier. Like, Restless started 2-0 as well, and then Majiki started to come back. But there's not really much that you can take away from Trident at the moment. The only real mistake that has happened was J-Swag. I haven't seen Bayback done anything really noticeably wrong or at all.
And even J-Swag, I mean, it's been like 1 mistake per map. It hasn't been consistent mistakes by any means out of Trident. They've been extremely consistent, I would say, even with the mistakes included. J-Swag now trying to keep a consistent pace out of the front, even in the practice time at the beginning here. Round 1 starting up, and Trident are going to have to be taken down here, but we're back to their map pick.
Yeah, that is indeed the case. And for those who don't know, yeah, if you think is Trident Esports a known team as well, I do believe they only played the 1 regional, stage 1. So it just shows maybe stage 1, you know, they weren't really feeling or weren't really prepared or knowing if they can play the regionals. But here, fully prepared and fully here to send it. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, if you're Guda and Spark watching this at the moment, I'm gonna be honest, they must be shaking in their boots, because Baywack and J-Swag are absolutely insane, and this round is no different. I mean, Planetary Goose is right there, but what are you gonna do? Like, there's nothing really you can do, but he's trying his best. He's pushing the very limits.
Oh, this is incredibly good.
But look at Baywack and J-Swag, just send it and go up front.
Oh no, Goose!
As well. Whoa. 56-3 as well. Well, it's not the most fastest time in the world, but 55s can be done here. But an ace again. Trident Esports, just a league of their own in compared to Ferox Industries today. It's one of those days where you just say like, yep, the other team is just doing better. Like, we're trying our best, but you know, just props to the other team. I
gotta say though, that ace means a lot less to me than it would have in any other circumstance, because Planetary Goose was pixels away from making that snipe. He could have even gotten ahead of both of them there. He really was pulling up for Ferox, and then made that contact with the finish line itself, had to land in it.
Yeah, and we saw the difference. This is something that I've mentioned as well. The importance of
There is
when you
again.
accelerate on the bumpers. You saw Planetary Goose had to slow down significantly, but J-Swag and Baywag fully sent it. But we see Baywag is last and very far behind. So
Oh,
unless
Goose.
J-Swag now gets second
No.
position, which he does, but Planetary Goose has had to respawn and again has had to respawn. Sved gets across the line, but Baywag is so far behind that even after multiple respawns, Ferox do get a draw, but J-Swag holds his own. When Baywag finally drops down, J-Swag is like, I got you, homie.
Yeah.
I'm there for you, and I'll give you a draw for this round. And that's exactly what a good deep dynamic is. Your teammate falls down, you're there to pick up the pieces for them.
Once again, just these two giants on a team being so threatening now. Planetary Goose coming out early into a leading position. J-Swag might have the speed through here. Great landing from him as well. Baywag keeping up, both out in front, but Planetary Goose with pace, gaining through, just sitting inside the other two cars right now, and will take a great line through the dirt as well. Does he have it into the engine off section?
Correction, it is no brakes.
No brakes, no brakes.
No brakes yet, guys, no brakes. It's a correction there.
Yes.
I'm sure somebody in chat would have probably said, actually, it's a no brakes. But either way, for the round itself, Trident looking pretty good. Sved is trying to deny J-Swag here, but so far J-Swag goes for the lower jump, and Sved completely misses the second bumper, which means they get an ace as well. And it is 7-1 the scoreline. If you're a fan of Brazil, look away from that scoreline. But if you are a Trident esports fan, this is exactly what you want to see. One ace away from taking another track point.
Oh, mate, this is absolutely mental from Trident Esports. A single point for Ferox, and now Trident with one more ace could take the map again and make this 3-0 in map count. Planetary Goose has been putting in the work to try and get points back into this, but it's just so tough, and you can't blame Sved for that. You've got to blame Trident. They've been just too good.
Yeah, it's not like anything like Ferox Industries. They're putting good times. Like this is something that I've said in other regions as well when I've casted, for example, MEA or EU. On any other day, Ferox Industries would take any other team more possibly as well. But when you have a team like Trident Esports up against, I mean, you can put in your best performance of your life and still Baywag and chase for like
Goose.
Nice
one
try,
chance.
Bro.
And
not
there
happening. It is. They go for another ace as well, and it's a clean game for them. I mean, 56-1, good time. Ace and 10-1 the score.
I mean, we were talking about Airwalk being the new aero pipes. They didn't make it look like that, did they? They absolute consistency from Trident Esports, only giving up a single draw there. And 10-1 is a big win, particularly on a map that can be so treacherous.
I will say I will liken Airwalk to Flip of Faith just because of the name already. It's sort of like a a leap of faith into the air and making sure you get those bumpers right as well. At least when I tried to throw parallels between the maps, like I thought of Flip of Faith as Airwalk, like one of those maps where you just have to send it, you know?
Yeah.
There's no really there is no real strategy there. You just send it.
Just
and
go.
Hope you get a low landing and get a good one. But past things aside, we're on off-road now, which is Ferox Industries' pick. So there is still hope. I know it's been 3-0 on the scoreline, I know, but if you forget about that...
If you just forget what history tells you...
I mean, it's the mentality. Like, when you are down on the count as well, a lot of times people say that don't look at the scoreline, try to think of it in a situation where it is 0-0 still. But as soon as I say that...
It's going to be hard not to think about now, yeah.
Yeah, it's too blue up front at the moment. It's J-Swag and Baywag. Baywag does clip the checkpoint. I mean,
great line from Sved too.
Oh, but Baywag does it even better. I think he gets a lot more acceleration from the booster though. Ooh, there it is. Sved is trying, goes a bit wide though. Baywag goes inside, and that is looking
Sved
to
just
be
lost
another ace on the board. Yeah, there it is. Good time, I think, as well. That is going to be a 56 flat as well. good times as well. Of course, they have like 55, 6, and 7s, but a 56 flat is a really good time.
Yeah, consistent issues through the end there for Sved, who was the only one who really could have put up a fight there as well. Unfortunate ending for the first round of off-road, but still plenty of time, and it is Ferox's pick, so I expect some level of confidence out of them, even if they are a little beaten down right now.
Yeah, but it is an important key to make at that, especially when you think of the context of the previous maps as well. Sometimes you start to think of like, oh god, this is a bit of a rough end as well. Yes, we picked the map, but again, we allude to the fact that Trident Esports, I mean, you can only praise them right now. It's been mostly a flawless performance, and they're doing pretty much a clean job of this match as well. Like, Ferox Industries have put up a good show, but when the other team is better, you just, you know, breaks in the chat, you go like, yep, good job. Like, the better team won today. There's nothing much we can do at the moment, and Trident Esports are doing another round to just showcase it.
A pretty clean round from everybody so far, though, as we go through the identity into the off-road section. True to its name, and it will be Planetary Goose coming in last here as J-Swag and Biwack again lead it up with another ace. Even on their opponent's map, Trident Esports, they're just consistent and fast.
Yeah, and well, if I look at the website that I have open as well, if we compare like the average times and everything, it's all green for Trident. Like, there's not even a single map that Ferox Industries on average is faster than Trident. So it does give a bit of context, but we've seen like Ferox Industries is not slow. Yes, we see at the moment as well, Sved is up front at the moment and looking pretty good to contest, and Planetary Goose is right there as well. So it's a good round, a good possibility to take some points away here, and it's literally neck and neck. Nothing really separating the two, as Planetary Goose and Sved do get a bit of a slower ice here. But look at this round at the moment. It's coming all to the identity. They're pushing. Ferox Industries has not given up yet, but they have to get past J-Swag to get some good points on the board.
Oh, Sved.
But,
Sved.
There it is.
Ran
Sved
wide.
has a moment, and Biwack snipes Planetary
Oh my
Goose
goodness.
as well.
There's no way that's an ace again. Oh my goodness. What a round.
It was such a good round as well, and even with that, Ferox Industries get ace. Like, what are you gonna do at that point? You're like, you put everything on the board, and Trident Esports still take it away from you. I mean, it's again, it just showcases how Trident, how much time and effort they put into these maps. I think it's absolutely insane how they can do this every single round, and definitely something to look forward to for regional number 2 as well. But of course, we speak too early. Of course, we still have the grand final to come, but for now it seems that with Sved falling a fair bit behind, no matter what Planetary Goose does here, he can get a token point for the team, but this is gonna be the final round of the match, I believe.
I'd certainly want that point if I were Goose, and J-Swag going wide might just get him that. Planetary Goose out in front only for a moment. Biwack right on top of him. This is incredibly neck and neck finish, but Planetary Goose runs that little bit right to the right, and 2/100ths of a second exactly separates Biwack and Planetary Goose down to the wire.
Yeah, but they do get the point, so they don't get fully ace. So, you know, you look at the positives, you know, there's always a silver lining as well, but what are you gonna say? Trident Esports, the team to look out for. I feel like they are gonna be a very tough team to beat at the moment, and for now at least, they're just running the show. And if your team Restless, which from Winky Face I see from the in-game chat as well, maybe not looking at so positive now from Winky Face, but I mean, but for Restless as well, they are in the grand final. So for both of these teams in the global points perspective, 5 points are now officially confirmed. Whoever wins the grand final will get an extra 2 points and ends it with 7. But gonna be an interesting match. I'm sure Restless are gonna be looking forward to it. Maybe not so much after watching this match, but you know, if there's anybody who can do it, I feel like Rinky Face and a Red Bolt are the team to do it.
Yeah, Trident might be the new reigning kings of APAC at this exact moment. They have been lethal looking. Ferox able to take only 1 point on a map pick of their own at the end there, and Ferox, they played pretty well, particularly they're looking at Planetary Goose, came through with some good times, and even that last round is really, really neck and neck for first place, but it just didn't stop them. Trident Esports, so consistent, so fast, and they are going to be scary. So if you're Restless Esports, be Restless, get ready for this, and you guys at home, you get ready as well, because we're going to go for a quick break. We will be right with you with the grand final. Hello and welcome back, everybody. It is stage 2 of the APAC World Tour for Trackmania, and it is the grand finals. I've been Gex and Creedy still sitting with me. We are heading into our last match. It has been quite a road to get here, and it's about to be even tougher. We are already in the pick and ban phase, so let's get into it. I think Restless is going to face that tough road down still.
Yeah, I think when they watch Trident play, I think there's one of those moments where like, oh God, forsaken, please help us. But it's very hard to go up against. But I feel like when we saw Winky Face as well and Red Bull, they were really fast as well. So, but they had a lot more, Majiki really pushed them as well. And now they have a lot stronger opponent. And with the cool store bobbing, the pick and ban has already gone. We start on breaking.
Breaking, number one, out of the gates.
Number one.
Breaking is so hard to talk about because there's just chaos all the time. Are we going to see that again, or is it going to be this massive, massive consistency out of Trident that means we're not even going to see those mistakes?
Yeah, but fun fact, it is Restless who is the higher seed, so they are the blue team,
yeah,
so they
that's
actually
true.
have sort of an advantage in regards to picking the order of the maps. But it is breaking, control, sinuous as well. We haven't seen much of that as well, and pool. So those are the 4 maps we definitely will see. But we haven't seen Frosty. Well, there's a lot of maps we haven't seen today, to be honest. We haven't seen Frosty. We haven't seen Sinuous, we haven't seen. There hasn't been any speed as well. So those are the 3 maps I believe we haven't seen at all. So maybe a first for today, but at least it seems that APAC again, as we've seen with the previous stage as well, people are sort of falling into a certain map pool. But we'll see how that goes.
Well, I think Trident Esports, they've been so consistent that I am looking across. I'm looking at Restless map picks here. The Restless map picks are going to be so crucial for them to come up top on. I think breaking as first track here, it's super crucial for them to be able to prove that map pick is solid because they've put the hours in, and other teams just may not have. It's not been a favorite for APAC.
Yeah, but that has been something that we have to wait and see how the entire regional does follow along. But fellow Trackmania enjoyers, the first APAC regional final for stage number 2 is going to be underway. Team Restless trying to go up against the Titans, the Poseidon with the Trident Esports as we go underway on breaking. As we said before, a very technical map with a lot of treacherous moments here, but it's all uphill battle for Restless, as we already see somewhat of a familiar sight where Trident Esports already going up to an early lead with Red Bolt and Winky Face trying to chase them down.
You do not want to see an ace off the bat on a map picked by Restless. There is a mistake there. J-Swag still leading though, and they want more than a draw here. Winky Face following in behind. A nice breaking point there to keep him around that corner well, but Red Bolt carried the better speed and is catching very slowly J-Swag through here. It's going to come down to the identity though. Very clean racing.
Yeah, and they're going to be coming close, and there is a lot of time to gain. The more you're willing to push this, the more speed you can carry over to the next turn. But J-Swag is so far up front that it's not going to make a difference. Red Bull does get almost 2/10 closer, but with a big of a gap, I mean, that's going to be a draw. So, I mean, looking positive. Baywack, of course, did have a mistake that doesn't happen quite often. But it is something to look keep an eye on, as Baywack hopes to keep that pressure on that he was able to put on at least to Ferox Industries from the previous match.
Oh, big mistake from Trident there. Actually, Baywack might be on his own up the front as Winky Face does make the pass as well. Has to hold good speed here to hold him off though. Winky Face does look good for it out in front. Baywack still now contesting with Red Bolt, and an ace possible for Restless at this point. Need the speed down through this spiral into the dirt though, and Baywack has the better line than Red Bolt. Winky Face under threat again as Baywack goes so close to that left hand side. He does hold it.
Yeah, and
and the
oh my god,
turn.
Winky Face absolutely falls off, goes a bit too wide and gets the penalty grass or the grass section. So now Red Bolt has to contest Bivouac, but that allows for another draw for Trident Esports. So Winky Face had a bit of a moment there. Chasewag is fair enough, but you know, these rounds at the moment that Restless have been given by Trident, you really need to take these, because as soon as Bayback and J-Swag get into the mojo from the previous match, it's gonna become really difficult for them. Of course, a fun fact as well, it's the age-old contention between the Aussies and the New Zealanders, so sort of a region battle as well, if you want to look at it as well. So a fun little thing to note as well. But yeah, it's Trident Esports have given Restless multiple chances to now to go in the lead, but it's just, again, those little things make the difference. And now at least Restless again looking to be up front, and they are 1 and 2 again, but can they hold it until the very end?
That wide turn into the booster through that water section, getting so much speed. J-Swag, a big catch up here, but does it get him into position? No, Winky Face and Red Bolt looking so good through the spiral again. Down, Red Bolt losing a little bit of speed, and now it's J-Swag in right behind Winky Face. And it will be Bivouac making that run as well. Looking for more than a draw here, though. Bivouac still making gains as they go into the identity. Now Winky Face has to hold him off. It's Bivouac and Winky Face on the line. It's going to be close, but Winky Face holds it. And it will be Restless to... Well, I mean, they get ahead, but it is going to be a draw nonetheless.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Are we gonna get a bit of a draw festival here starting as well? I mean, they are very, at the moment, on equal footing as well, but it's been, at the moment, Winky Face or Red Bolt holding off Trident Esports, or one person on either team has held off the other one, and it's been 3 draws in a row at the moment. As we get to see, do we see one of the teams now break in this case, as Restless do start off well, but Winky Face does go a bit wider. I do believe he did touch the wall, but he usually has a really good exit here, but finds himself already half a second behind as Red Bolt goes a bit too inside, and now Trident are the ones leading the pack.
Winky Face did make a lot of time up. He does always seem to nail that slide after the water section, and now heading back down into that spiral again. J-Swag and Bivouac have consistently had a bit more speed through there. They will be able to hold it, but J-Swag does lose a little bit of grip. Actually, both have lost some room here, and Winky Face now out ahead as J-Swag and Bivouac try and buy back their time here. It's not going to be the case by the looks of it. Winky Face just has to hold on, and it will be yet another draw on the board.
So it seems that we want to take as much screen time here as possible, as it is round 4, 4-4. Well, strap yourselves in, everybody. We're going in for the long haul, it seems, because no matter what happens in the round, it's going to be a draw either way.
Well, early starts through that section again. Actually, so much speed to lose through that early section there. You get out of the water and immediately face down that situation where you have to go for that slide to cut down the speed. You do it too much, you're going to lose a lot of speed. So right on that line, they've been able to take that consistently. The middle section of the track hasn't seemed to be a problem for them either. This ice slide has separated the teams at times a little bit, but make and break could be anywhere through here.
Yeah, and now it's looking to be, well, we've said this before, it's been looking like an ace position to one of the teams, but Red Bolt hits the corner. So Winky now has to fully send it, but so far at least the identity hasn't proven with any mistakes. But Winky goes a bit too inside, and the Gamel's pack has been broken. Trident take the ace, and with the 101 flat as well. Very good time for a round time as well. It is now 7-4, and finally Trident take the lead after 4 rounds of draws. They finally break Restless on their map pick as well.
That 101. Bivouac finally said, you know what? If we're not getting the aces and we're playing any safe at all, I'm going to throw it to the wind. I'm going for a big time here. Puts it down, and they do get the ace. Bivouac sneaking in front again here. Couple of mistakes there. Red Bolt and J-Swag both dropping back as Bivouac does get into first place, but Winky Face once again has such a good line through that section.
Yeah, it's good to see as well. Winky Face clearly is the man to beat for Trident as well. Red Bolt is not far behind, but clearly Winky Face is the one that has been giving Trident Esports a big headache at the moment, and of course reasonably so, because he's a fast man and giving a bit of a wink to Baywak there in the back as well. It's just like, well, I got you now. Let's see how you do this time. And he's holding first
Still
position.
close.
Baywak is trying to go for it, but it's such a big gap. You really have to send it. Baywak does get a bit closer, but at that point, it's not going to be enough with a 101.6. And Red Bolt coming in third. It's a victory for Restless, and it is at least a starting point. If it keeps continuing like this, we could go to overtime as well. So if Restless gets 2 victories, I mean, overtime.
Yeah, absolutely possible. I mean, look, we've broken the streak, so draws are out the window now. It's just a matter of whether it's Restless or Trident, right? Surely.
Yep. Pretty much that is the case. Of course, Trident have looked a lot more promising, but again, what I said before, Winky Face has been
Winky Face,
the pain in their existence.
Stop
I didn't even
talking.
Manage to say the word.
Stop it.
I didn't say the name even yet. Come on, man, give me a break. I didn't even say Winky Face. Come on, give me a break, man.
Karma just knew. They knew.
I didn't even say the name. Like, the thoughts of this game read my mind at this point, man. Come on.
Oh, my
either
goodness.
Way, well, everything aside, and my caster curse being probably the most horrific thing ever to
That is
happen
the
to
strongest
Trackmania World
curse
Tour.
I have ever seen. It is unbelievable. The acknowledgement
either
of a
way-
great caster coming through so strong for you.
Hey, good time. The 101-1 and a 101-3. So either way, it would have been a pretty hard round to beat for Winky Face. I'm just saying, chat, don't get your pitchforks out. Those are some good times, you know. Just saying. So either way, Trident do get the victory. Track point 11-6, and we move on to the next map.
Oh my goodness. Trident Esports coming through. It might have been a predicted result before the game started, but I gotta say, that map could have gone either way. Restless really did throw everything at that, and they looked good for it. Just couldn't bring it out at the last moment. And it came down to that one section that Winky Face always made the time on. Just coming out of that water, that big slide through the concrete section, Winky Face always made that well, and that one mistake right at that moment cost them dearly.
Yeah, but it was a good sight though. It definitely showed that Restless can be up to bar with Trident. Of course, Winky Face was constantly being the pain in the neck for them. And Red Bolt definitely was up there as well. But we move on to Control, which is a map we see quite often actually. People really love this map, and it's really nice to view as well. I feel like it's one of the maps that is the best to spectate.
Yeah.
It has a lot of ups and downs, as Winky Face sees the up when he bounces off that block there, as Red Bolt is the one chasing down Trident. But it's a nice map to spectate, in my opinion. One of the better ones. It has so many fun things happening up and down and everything, and it's a good spectating map, in my opinion, as well. But
Crazy
Red Bolt,
transitions. Whoa, Red Bolt!
but touches the wall there. But Baywak also having a bit of trouble, but it's an ace position still for Trident.
Yeah, J-Swag now leading as well. Red Bolt still in behind, but not close enough to put contest to this. Any other team, and I would say possibilities, but oh my goodness, Trident actually does screw it up. Now the curse is with me. Baywak goes down. Winky Face is going to come in third as well, and it's a draw off the bat. Is this going to happen again?
I think somebody wrote the script or just copy-pasted it from previous round. If anybody's with the script and you do some quick adjustments, we had breaking previous map. It's new and now Control. We need something new here. You know, it's I know it's copy-paste is an easy thing to fill the script, but throw in a spanner there. Let's say Restless gets an ace now here.
Is that writing bot that everybody's going on about? I think the AI has gotten lazy. So
ChatGPT.
Yeah,
ChatGPT
is
just.
just-
It's just some guy just was like, oh god damn it, it's not writing for me today. Copy paste it is, I guess, today. But we'll see how it goes, as Trident Esports are in the lead, but nobody's really fallen behind.
No,
Winky Face does give a
very
good
close.
perspective, but overtakes at the moment Baywak. So at the moment, generally close. So any respawn here
Good
in the
line from
identity
Baywak.
could be a difference. Ooh, it's getting ever so close, but Baywak is pushing. Red Bolt is in his sights, and
Oh, a bit of a
goes
bounce.
really high.
Red
but
Bolt,
gets enough for a victory. Whoa.
Only just held that as well. Another 200ths of difference there is all it takes. And Red Bolt will be able to at least get a point out of it for Restless. But Trident Esports not as far ahead as they probably thought they would be, especially on their own map pick.
Yeah, but it's still pretty close affair at the moment. And we've seen that Winky Face and Red Bolt looking a lot more comfortable on this map as well. It is not the map they picked, but Red Bolt has been in the mix a lot more than before, and that is a good sight for Restless fans. But of course, as soon as I mention anything, apparently it just shows that they fall a half a second behind, and Trident are now comfortably in the lead. So take my words with a grain of salt, apparently.
These transitions, it's obtainable, that half a second, even against Trident, I think it's obtainable. And look at that, Red Bolt making that time up right behind J-Swag now. But they just keep that consistency up, already gaining it back over Red Bolt and bringing that gap back into the game. Do they get the final transition into the finish, though? Oh, certainly we don't see it out of Red Bolt, though. Winky Face chasing up, but it's an ace there for Trident.
Yeah, and that is a 59 flat as well. What a good time for the round as well. Like the PBs for Baywak and J-Swag are 58.8 and 58.7 respectively, at least from online times. So again, they are consistently pushing times that are close to their PBs and putting Winky Face and Red Bolt in a position where they have to, again, like Ferox Industries before them, have to just absolutely send it. There's just no other way against Trident Esports at this point, it seems.
Well, Winky Face goes well wide there and is going to end up well at the back of the pack. Red Bolt still in the fight. Baywak and J-Swag always take a very good line through that dirt section. What a transition from Red Bolt, though. Keeping up with J-Swag now, and Baywak falling behind substantially. Red Bolt's transition through into the ice, though. There's that treacherous section finally taking a toll in the early part of the track. As much as we've called that out, I don't think that particular one has claimed too many lives while we've been watching.
Yeah, it is the corner there does sort of line you up perfectly for the turn as well, as we do get a draw for the round. It's the identity where you have a lot more free space to sort of set yourself up. There you don't have much time. You sort of are already turning to the left and not much time to really compensate for it. And usually people already have the line set up for themselves. It's the identity where, of course, there's many varieties that you can. Technically, if you actually want to, you don't even need the bobsleigh part. You can actually just jump across.
Yeah, I don't usually use that.
Technically doable.
I actually find it a lot easier on something I just don't find consistent at all. These guys are insane. If you are sitting at home thinking, oh, you know, it's not that problematic, just don't hit the thing, Fivehead, try the map. This is unbelievably tough, and those finishes are not consistent unless you are consistent.
Yeah, and of course, the one thing is finishing the map. The other thing is finishing the map fast.
Yeah.
So that's always a caveat that a lot of things say, yeah, you can finish the map, but interview, and can you do a 59
exactly.
flat? Anybody in chat? Anybody that can do 59 flat? Any hands up in the air? Maybe Birdie can. I know he's in chat, so maybe he can. But it is another ace and a track point for Trident. 59-2 on the board, and that is 2-0 in the round. So that is a good start for Trident again. Nothing really to say much there. As Winky Face confirms that he has now completed the warm-up, and they've already won in in-game chat. So clearly Restless have not given up.
Well, Trident Esports up 2 maps. You've got to expect that there is probably dying hopes here on Restless' side. They have had very little look in that. The only exception to that had to be Breaking. Breaking, they did look fantastic on, but they've got to take a map when it is their pick, and it is going back to a Restless map now, Sinuous.
Yeah, Sinuous. This is a map we actually haven't seen today, so it's a good, refreshing sight to see some new maps on here as well. And we'll have to see how it goes. It is a full speed map, of course, very full speed heavy. And when we talked about this map beforehand, it is one of those maps where it's not the identity that really decides it. It's kind of the rest of the map, because the identity actually is probably one of the simpler ones to get through, in my opinion, across the board.
It's just about maximizing speed really here. This one, you have to take the lines right. You have to get that speed drift in. Red Bolt making some space here. Winky Face up with him as well. This is looking very good for them. J-Swag is in the pack, but a really, really good first half for Restless. And when it is such a precise map, when you are looking for that max speed, it's hard to make those gains back. Big mistake from Red Bolt there. I mean, in context for this map, that is a big mistake.
Yeah, you can see like that. Oh, it's only half a second, and well, that's going to be a lot
Oh
more
my
than
goodness,
half a
that's
second.
more. Yeah.
Oh, he almost actually made it. But yeah, it's like little things like that make the difference. And 55-2 on Sinuous, at least again, it goes across the board to being close to. Well, it's not PB times, it's 54-7s and 54-8s on Sinuous for Baywak and J-Swag. But Winky Face, well, it's their pick, like it's Restless pick, but as we have alluded before, it seems that no matter what you pick against Trident Esports, they're gonna be fast, no matter what.
I mean, this is a terrifying grand final. When you are up against second best and you are looking this ahead from Trident, that's absolutely incredible for the region to have somebody this far out ahead. But right now, in this map, here and now, they are not out ahead. They're Restless, once again, looking fairly good through this section, but Winky Face is going to have to hold another draw by the looks of it, and does look like he will as well. That's quite a good distance ahead here. Baywak and J-Swag chasing up. That first round, though, I mean, Restless should have taken a win there, maybe even an ace out of it. Restless putting themselves under a lot more stress than they need to be right this second.
I mean, we said that, I believe, on Breaking as well, like it was their map pick as well. It's like there were rounds where it looked very promising for them. But again, like those, with Trident Esports, it's like you just cannot afford those little things happening. And especially on
J-Swag
of all maps as well. But it's still, J-Swag, there is Gods Can Bleed.
Yeah.
So it's now up to Baywak, but probably the worst player to have on the board to go up against, because Baywak has been probably the biggest menace from Trident Esports.
Oh, good
for
turn.
Restless, but he's still pretty good.
Oh, Winky Face. Look at that speed drift through a section. I don't think I've seen many people doing that, but an error through the ice slide, and Baywak shoots ahead. It's going to be another draw here. J-Swag, though, that was a massively uncharacteristic mistake from J-Swag. It was a mistake I don't think I've seen made more than once throughout the weekend, and certainly not expecting to see it out of Trident.
Well, if you're looking at Baywak, he's like, yeah, it's fine. It's we got to draw out of it, casual day, and we just go next round, easy clap. But no, it's again, like, what did I just say? Baywak has been phenomenal for Trident Esports. So has J-Swag, of course. J-Swag has had some more moments compared to Baywak, but it only makes the job for Restless ever so more difficult. But yeah. Restless, you can clearly see they are putting Trident through the paces, because they are making a lot more mistakes, perhaps, that may be characteristic than it is for Trident. So Restless not giving up as we go to the second half of the map already.
You can see confidence on this map from Restless, 100%. Winky Face in particular has had some major speeds, really, really hitting every one of those speed slides where possible. But this is incredibly close. That's a big mistake there. We will see one fall well to the back, but Winky Face, does he hold the line? Oh my goodness, this is down to the wire. Baywak on top of him. Winky Face takes it by 2 thousandths of a second, 2 milliseconds. On the board, Baywak right behind.
Whoa, that was a good round. 2,000ths of a second, and it's 4 draws in 4 rounds. Is this breaking all over again? Or so according to the script again, it should be
breaks
Trident
here,
getting
yeah?
the ace now.
Yeah.
So if everything's correct, okay, am I on the right page of the script?
I
Hold on,
don't
give me a
care
moment,
what the points come out of this. I want to see another 2 millisecond difference on board. That's content. That's content right there.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we want to see, and it's looking really. This is exactly what Winky Face is probably the best opponent against Trident as well.
Yeah.
Like he's absolutely insanely fast, and
Look at that speed slide.
have to really go for it. And again, looking really good. It is another draw position as J-Spec is very far behind. So it's again Bayback trying to hold on, but Winky Face is so close. It's gonna be again. They're gonna go down to the line.
Here it comes.
Winky Face has not that much speed. Bayback is a good entry, and it's a 55-2 across the line. It's another draw. It's 5 draws in a row. Nothing to separate the teams, and we go again.
I mean, there might have been something to separate the cars that time. Not quite 2 millisecond finish, but nothing separates these teams. You're right. They're absolutely dead even. These draws could continue for a while here, especially if there's mistakes from Trident, from one player only. You continue to see this be looking like Restless might just pull it off somewhere here, and then it's just clawed back by one player.
Yeah, but again, a familiar sight. Who's up front being an annoyance for Restless? It is Bayback. Chaseback is still in the mix,
Winky.
a bit behind, but
This is
Winky
looking good.
and Red Bolt, it's looking like a carbon coffee from previous rounds.
Oh,
Winky Face versus
it is.
Bayback is
It really
here.
is.
Chaseback is there. Everybody's there, but now it's Winky Face first, and Bayback and Chaseback third. Oh no, we're getting a 6th throw, aren't we here? Unless something miraculous happens and Bayback pushes the line.
Oh
No,
my
it
goodness.
is
No.
another draw. It's 6 in a row. We cannot do anything to separate them. They just want to now go for another. They want to do an APAC troller here. It's happening.
Absolute insanity that we are seeing this just absolutely drawn out. To see any kind of lead here seems almost impossible at this point. We were looking at maybe the shortest grand final APAC has ever seen, and in one match, that could have changed.
Oh yeah, they're definitely not letting this up. I mean, well, Winky did say that they're done warming up and now they're gonna win. I mean, Winky is definitely making a good argument for it. Like, and they picked this map for a reason, and I think it shows why. Winky has been absolutely insane, but he really has to now be insane. Oh, there's a touch, and he goes in front again. Oh, where do we have seen this before? Winky Face versus Bayback is second, but Bayback has a lot more speed. He's gonna go up in front, and there it is.
Chasewag, Red Bolt almost took it back.
54 as well. Finally, Trident get ahead. 7-8 is the score, and now Restless have to actually win one round instead of draw one.
Yeah, and Red Bolt almost brought back the draw there again, because he actually had the pace, I think, to make the overtake up through the identity there, but made contact. It just tried to cut it too close and ended up flipping through the finish line there. This is so close. Restless now 1 point behind, and it could be another Trident map. But Red Bolt out ahead right now.
Yeah, but look at this position at the moment. Restless need an ace to get a track point. Who is in front? 2 members of Restless. So now Jaceback, gets a bit of a slide out, but catches the thing. Bayback is absolutely sending it. He knows he needs to go for it, but this is the prime position for Restless. Can they take their first track point here? It's looking very good. And now Bayback, but Bayback is sending it.
It looks extremely good.
And there it is. Restless get the track point, and gods do bleed. Trident Esports now. Oh, what a map. Probably the map of the tournament so far. That was insane.
Incredible competition between the two, but it was a bare win on their map pick. There is the scary thing for Restless. Now they have to go back and do it again against Trident on their own map pick. Restless looked good there. They gave away one point. It looked dangerous, and then they ace to take the map point. Trident Esports now back looking to regain their supremacy here.
Yeah, but look what map we have. It's pool. You have already flashbacks from the previous match. I don't remember that Payback made a single mistake on this map last time. So this is probably the, you know, you go from the very high and then you troll the spare seat. This is pool, isn't it?
Yep.
God forbid. And well, Restless, another task to hold on. It's a map where Trident Esports absolutely dominated, with probably one of the most consistent performances on a map we've seen so far. But now, you know, Restless have made Trident Esports a bit restless. You know, they've shaken the pot. They've taken a track point.
Good line from Winky.
A different dynamic now.
Really good line from Winky Face. Has the speed and the pace to keep them at bay right now. Just consistently being clean with this, but now has to do it through the identity. We've seen Restless come up looking so good so far. Has some serious speed through here as the booster turns on, but has to make this last corner clean and does so as well. And not only that, Restless are going to ace the first round of the map.
You all thought this match was over? Well, Restless are saying something else. We see that it's going to happen as well, and it seems that it has shaken Trident Esports a bit, you know. You know, you're so close to victory, and then it gets taken away from you. I mean, this is now momentum as well, but again, we cannot count it out. Trident Esports was absolutely amazing on this map. So one ace here is good to start, but if Trident just go on a spree of 4 aces in a row, that ace is a nice token in the end, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Absolutely, but Red Bolt making a big error here, grinding the wall there and just cutting all of his speed out of this run. Winky Face still pushing for a first place position, might be able to make this a draw, but I don't expect the mistakes from Trident. Biwak still here, Winky Face taking that line again, has speed. Does he get it through the last corner? This is on pace.
Oh
Winky Face, that is so close. 0.015. It is a 10th and a half, and it is going to be Biwak to get a point back here for Trident, but Restless, they remain ahead.
That was all three drove a sub 55 as well. That is insane in rounds as well.
What a competition.
Of course, the world record is 54 seconds, yada, yada, yada. But in rounds, doing a sub 55, and that is so close as well. That is insane.
When you're watching your position change and shift as well, that pressure on top of you is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Whoa, big touch by Red Bull.
That doesn't mean anything,
No, apparently.
He just touched the wall.
No.
Doesn't matter at all.
Where was the acceleration debuff? Apparently just not there. No. Restless, what are you doing? This is insane. This is not your map, guys. Somebody remind them.
I mean, they're putting Trident on the spot. I mean, Trident, maybe we gave them the benefit of the doubt, but we see a bit of a push by J-Swag.
Oh, J-Swag, the contact.
It's the corner, it's an ace. What is happening?
What is happening? The momentum shift here is enormous. Restless are on the doorstep. If they can do that one more time, they're taking the map point 10-2.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, we praised Trident Esports by how good their pool was, but it seems that whatever Restless, or if Restless are listening to this, they're like, what the hell are you talking about, casters? Do you see the scoreline? It's 7-2 for us, so, you know, go back to the analyst test, guys. You maybe need to rewind on that one, but at the moment, at least it is Trident Esports chasing down Winky Face yet again as Bayback slides out and Red Bull is third again. It's not looking so good for Trident Esports. They're really being putting on the spot at the moment.
Looking fantastic for Restless, though. I mean, this is what you wanted to see out of Restless. I mean, Trident are here just putting the entire region on notice, and suddenly Restless is like, all right, let's pay attention.
Yeah, it's like, Volkage, everybody. You thought this match was done and dusted? Not
Red
yet.
Bolt.
Oh, but that touch by Red Bolt pushes a bit too much. Does give a bit of a point back to Trident, but it's an 8-4 scoreline. Trident need aces at this point because victories won't do anymore. They need aces now.
Looking absolutely fantastic for Restless still here as Trident Esports is just trying to regain on their own map here. This is absolutely mental as a comeback from Restless. In the first two maps, it didn't look like they had a chance here against a dominant Trident, and suddenly Restless, they're awake, they're kicking, and it is hurting Trident.
Yeah, it's like it seems that the pointy end of the Trident has been turned towards Trident Esports themselves, as Restless looking good. Yet again, Bayback has fallen a bit behind, and it's up to JSwag to hold the line. A draw keeps the match going, but now with Vinkyface and Red Bolt hot on their heels, I mean, a draw, yes, would be nice, at least to give them an extra round, but now, well, Bayback is pushing. It's gonna come down to the line, but Bayback slides out, so it is a draw. Chaseback with a 54-7 as well. Probably the fastest time we've seen so far, but it's still a draw.
And only one point.
1 point needed.
Yep. Restless. They're on the doorstep here of something I don't think anybody saw coming. We walked into this one and went, oh, pool. This is Trident. This is all Trident. And Restless has been, dare I say, dominant. I mean, there have been rounds where Trident didn't hold a candle, and Restless have had a fight on their hands to do that, don't get me wrong, but when that comes through, it comes through massively, but it isn't right this second. Trident up ahead. Biowak and JSwag both on top of each other. Yeah,
okay, maybe Trident Esports are like, okay, content is great, but it's time to lay this match to rest. But as soon as we say that, Winkyface does touch, so it's up to Red Bolt now. He has to hold on to minimum second position if he wants the team, but he slides out as well. So unless JSwag and Payback make a mistake in the end, they're gonna pull it back, and it's an ace for Trident Esports. This is not over, ladies and gentlemen. There is still some fight in Trident Esports. And now it doesn't look so good. I mean, 9-5 looked good. 9-8 doesn't look that good. So it's a bit of a shaking moment now for Restless.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it cool, though. Gotta keep it cool.
Here we go again. Red Bolt with a very early lead here. Quite the lead at that. Is going to get dried up by a bit of a wide corner. Will snipe that one though. Red Bolt is still losing space here and will fall all the way to the back of the pack, which is very tight right now. Winkyface for a moment in the lead. Will he hold it? It's a very tight race. Biowak, a huge little cut through there and manages to dodge the wall. Pixels to spare. Perfect lines to hold Winkyface into the lead, and JSwag still in the pack. Red Bolt a little bit behind, but this could change through the identity.
Yeah, and Winkyface, if he holds on to first
base, my goodness, stop saying names! Just stop talking! No! My goodness!
Trident Esports takes the
It falls apart!
It absolutely goes. Head over here, what an insane match. I mean, if you're ever gonna be close to beating Trident, it was it. But Restless, oh no, they saw the 9 and they went red-eyed, and it went all red for Trident. Now they're now 3-1 ahead. Oh, that's a tough loss to take.
Oh, Creedy.
Oh, that I feel that.
Yeah, you should take the blame on that one. You should take the blame on that one. If Restless was in charge of this stream, you'd be fired right now, right? This is tough stuff. Trident, though, they're going to be happy with the caster curse. It seems to be benefiting them today. Restless, they were on the verge of brilliance and couldn't hold it. Trident take it with the ace and go straight into Frosty.
Oh my goodness sake! I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I did mention the name Winky again. So again, it seems that I have a sentient being of somebody reading my mind every time I think of Winky. But Red Bolt does fly. But we're on Frosty now, so. But that's, as a player myself, thinking about it, that's a tough loss to take. And now you have to go into a next map as well. No time to rest. You gotta shake it off. And we see Red Bolt has fallen a bit behind. So now Winkyface has to pull it through, but he has a rough start here. Oh no, it's falling apart slowly. But it is first round. Anything still can happen. But it seems that Trident will take the first ace, at least on Frosty.
Oh, you see the confidence just shattered, though. I mean, that is Absolutely massive to lose that one for Restless, and now sitting at the back with nothing but their thoughts to keep them company. They're going to have to use those thoughts to work out a way to beat Trident here on Frosty. This is tough.
Oh my goodness. I mean, what a match it has been. It's proven to be, even the scoreline says 3-1. If you're just joining in, you're probably missing out on the craziest match of the tournament so far, in my opinion. We had a really good match that went all the distance and in a best of 5 on the first day. But even with this scoreline, I feel like this has been a grand final worthy match so far. As
J-Swag
does touch the wall, and Red Bull gets closer though.
Red Bolt is going to make that pass. You need a lot of pace coming up that uphill. It doesn't look like a tough section, and I suppose it's not, but the line in is important, and it does mean that Red Bolt can not only make that position, but passes his teammate. Winky Face falling back a little there, as J-Swag still holds the back, but Biwak has an enormous lead right now. I don't see him sacrificing that.
God, I need binoculars at this point.
Yeah.
Just seeing his name is disappearing at this point from the POV, but he's looking to be on a good time here. At the moment, at least, looking to be a draw for the round. As Rippled has a bit of a moment and a 104.7, and Winky Face does come in here. So it is a draw for Restless. So avoiding the worst, but there is still a 3-point gap. So let's see how it goes. For now, at least. They seem to getting the composure back. Frosty is not an easy map to get the composure back on, but it seems that maybe a bit of that restlessness from Team Restless has started to sort of shake off, but it's not proving to be an easy battle so far.
Good line from Winky Face here. Does actually mean he's out in the lead for a moment, but J-Swag with good pace, good line through here, will maintain that first position. This is a big chase down. Biwak, always a threat, even to his own teammate. You've got to expect that these guys, with the times they can set, will be competing against each other. Biwak absolutely wiping out there. He's going to be back with Red Bolt, who is actually in front there as well.
Yeah, it was a bit of a reset block moment there. Went a bit too wide and absolutely flipped upside down. But it does allow for Winky Face. He's half a second behind from J-Swag. So maybe looking to get something here, you know, victory. It would be a start to get a bit closer. But so far, at least, people really in the 360 community. And so is Baywak. And Baywak is also so fast that he overtakes Red Bolt in the end as well, and it's a victory for Trident, and it is proving to be a tough task to take down Trident on this map.
Yeah, Red Bolt could have made that a draw there as well, but just wasn't able to hold off Biwak. A tough ask at the best of times for anybody, really. Biwak has been setting pace today, even after a mistake, making that back fairly substantially, but look, it's got to be a difference here between Restless and Trident Esports that is conquerable for Restless, and at the moment it's not looking to be that way. A big lead obtained very early on in the track for Trident, as Biwak and J-Swag are just neck and neck with each other.
Yeah, and Red Bolt hasn't had the best of times on that first ice turn, and with Winky Face now touching the block here as well, or that managed to recover, which is good, but now J-Swag and Baywak are turning up the heat. The speed is coming through, and they are a second ahead of Restless, and I think that last map might have been sort of the coffin, and now Trident are really nailing it down, it seems.
Yeah, the lid is on after that last one, and Trident Esports, they've got some pretty big nails in their hands, I'd say. These are dominant leads, dominant scoreline on the board as well. As they bring through another ace, they're going to go and only need 1 point to finish this series off.
Yeah, it's 104.6, of course. Decent time, pretty nice as well. The identity proving the clean part, but now Restless need 3 aces in a row. No mistakes allowed, only for Trident Esports. So first of all, we gotta make sure that, of course, Red Bolt makes it to the other side. It's been a tough task for him to get this first flick going, but for now it's looking pretty good. Winky Face also gets a nice inside line, so
very good.
first start is promising. and Payback is falling a bit behind. So everything to play for, but Winky Face has touched a wall, I believe, and now has fallen fair.
It's like
bit behind now.
Trident decided that we needed a bit more content before the end of this grand final, and Restless, at least in the form of Winky Faces, said, "Nah, it's all right, just take it."
Oh man, but now the round where Red Bolt is doing great is Winky Face has the moment of or lapse of a little mistake there. So Red Bolt, he's holding the line at the moment in first position, but this is more than enough for Trident Esports. They can literally just coast their way. They don't even think they have to do 360s, but can Red Bolt at least take the victory? And even that is denied from Red Bolt. What a great match. GG to Trident Esports. What a deserved match. Well, Restless gave it their all, but in the end, it was that map pool that decided the fate of the game, I think. Not even this map, to be honest. And
I think Pool is going to go down, that map on Pool is going to go down as one of the greatest content maps we have ever had here in APAC. Might reign for a little while as well. Don't think I've ever seen anything quite that close or exciting here. We hope to see some more of it, but for today, that's your winners. It's Trident Esports coming up with a dominant victory. Restless able to take one map, showed us a little more on a second. That Pool map so close to taking it, but in the end it is all Trident, and that's what you should be talking about. They are your victors.
Yeah, first regional for it, and they are coming in hot. That was an amazing tournament. They did fall one map, and it could have been potentially due, but a fair shot to Restless. Drake's in the chat for them. They gave us a good show and a good battle in the end. But Trident Esports are now the new hot name on the block. Everybody's talking about them. And I'm already looking forward to what they can bring to regional number 2. But what a way to end it. I mean, today the match just kept up ramping up in excitement, and what a grand final to end it on as well.
I sure did. And Trident first for a very good reason. You guys saw how consistent, how fast they could be, setting some times on track that are just blisteringly fast for competition times. But Restless as well, second for a reason here. They weren't going to beat Trident there, but they did get second over other teams because Restless played amazingly. They really gave us a good showing. It was great to be able to go through that with you, Creedy. Had a great day. I hope you guys had fun watching as well. Shout out to SRK in the background as well, our production working hard to provide us with the little fun facts for you guys at times as well.
Yeah, it's a good fun as well. Like I love casting regionals, watching them as well, and being part of it has been a lot of eye opener as well. There's a lot of good talent that has risen from these regions, and it's becoming faster and faster. Like there was APAC before, and I feel like APAC has taken another notch even higher with the teams they have. And this was a tournament without even Kuda and Spark. Let's remind ourselves as well. So. If they show up next regional, I mean, put it in your calendar already. You gotta be there.
I'm definitely going to make my efforts. You guys should at home listen up to Creedy. He knows what's up. He's been around the regions, and we thank you very much for coming out to APAC yesterday and today as well. But that is us for the day. Thank you all for coming out and sharing your thoughts in the chat, being a part of the community. It is an amazing community at Trackmania as a whole, and especially APAC here, I think, has been very welcoming to me personally. So thank you all, and we will see you next time. Trident Esports, first place, but what a way to take it. We'll see you next time from APAC here. This is World Tour Trackmania.
Enjoy your days, everybody.